What a finish! What a man!
The drum roll finishes, and the target is hit.
And that was it. And it comes on finals night, and it's a knockout.
Dirty Harrison! Van Velzen!
I want trophies, I want titles.
Superb from Sada. 6 of the best.
That's Alex Small.
Double top.
Done, Jack Tweddell there. Hi there, good evening and welcome to the MODUS Super Series. This is the first finals night of Series 10 and we will find out at the end of the evening who is the first player through to a Champions Week in 2025. It's been a fantastic first week of the main tournament, and casting his eye over the action has been Glenn Durrant here again tonight. Glenn, great start to a new series.
Yeah, it's gone from strength to strength, the MODUS Super Series. We've even had the shock this week that former series champion Scott Taylor not getting through, but 6 players will fancy their chances tonight.
Yeah, well, let's remind you who these 6 players that have got through are and how they got here. Here is the story of week 1. Series 10 kicked off in style, and it was American debutant Adam Sada who stole the headlines on Monday, winning 5 games of 5 with an average for the day in excess of 98. Plenty of eyes were on Series 6 champion Scott Taylor, and despite some flashes of brilliance, including missing this double 12 for a 9-darter, he couldn't find the consistent form he's shown at the Live Lounge before, finishing in 4th place. Former weekly runner-up Jack Tweddell had an ideal start to his campaign. Impressive Group A stats and 8 wins across Monday and Tuesday saw him finish on 22 points, tying with the Group A winner. But it was leg difference that saw automatic qualification into finals night for Gary Stone. He improved day on day, completing Group A with a perfect day on Wednesday, which was enough to see the Scot take first place in the weekly final. Meneer joined the week in Group C, and despite being one of the outsiders before a dart was thrown, he quickly made his mark, registering 5 wins of 5 on the opening day. His steadiness continued into day 2 as he qualified in 2nd place. Meanwhile, speedster Alex Small had an explosive start to Group C. Consistency was key for the Welshman, who registered impressive finishing stats across the 2 days. Small's progression to finals night was at the expense of the Series 6 champ Scott Taylor, who missed out for just the 2nd time. Adam Savada's strong performance continued throughout Group B as he eased into finals night on his debut. He's only the 6th player in Super Series history to win all 8 games in a Group B campaign, and the 2nd player to register 3 perfect days in a week. Jack Tweddell also continued to impress with an average in excess of 90 across the 2 days. Consecutive 4-1 victories to end Group B ensured his qualification for a 2nd finals night in 2 attempts. Richard Rowlands couldn't win his final game in the group, meaning Ross Montgomery was able to qualify with 3 wins. The experienced Scot continues his perfect record of qualifying for finals nights at the MODUS Super Series. So to confirm, Gary Stone, the winner of Group 8, through to finals night along with Adam Savada, Jack Tweddell and Ross Montgomery via Group B. And in Group C yesterday afternoon, Alex Small winning the group with Meneer in 2nd. Let's start with Stone, Glenn, a player that you've admired for a long time. How much confidence will going into tonight as a group winner give the Scotsman?
Yeah, there's an answer in the question there, because the word confidence is all about Gary Stone. He's a player who represented his country in 2012 who won the Europe Cup singles. I think many people expected him to kick on from there. He didn't. He calls himself a little bit of a journeyman at the moment. things I like is the way he does this 160 finish here, but on Monday went straight onto social media to say he's not happy with his game, but he's trying to work. I think there's a real player in there. You're never too old for success, is what I would say to Gary Stone.
Yeah, he said he has been a bit of a journeyman, but feels that this year could be one that sees that change.
Yeah, I mean, talk is cheap. Like I said, I'd like to see him do it on the dartboard. I've championed him for many years. He knows I'm a big fan. But sometimes it's also between the ears as well, and that's maybe where he can improve. He is doing things about that. He is seeing someone. This could be the platform for him tonight.
Yeah, he showed that Scottish grit, didn't he, to get through a really tough Group A campaign. Adam Savada, he was brilliant in that campaign as well, and was fantastic in Group B.
Yeah, it's great to see sort of, new players at the MODUS Super Series, and to see a North American, like Adam come over and play so well. He's got that beautiful combination of scoring big, excellent on the doubles, but his attributes and his character is what's impressed me as well. He doesn't over-celebrate, he doesn't give too much away about him. He goes in tonight as a bit of a favourite.
But we can see that he can beat Gary Stone, and he did it in style when he did 110 average. That's the highest of the week.
And as a player, to have that ceiling at the back of your mind as well, because I think that's what it takes to win a Saturday night. You need that explosiveness as well, and to post that 110 average. I mean, they're superb stats. To win 18 games here during the week, that's giving you confidence. But to average over 92 and a half, after playing 23 games, big 180 hitter. He's got the ceiling of the 110 average, excellent on his doubles, and all-round player.
Yeah, 9 big finishes as well, so watch out for that this evening. Look, if he was spectacular, is steady the right word to describe Neil Meneer?
Yeah, he is. He's a player I once said I would love to see. I think there's a Neil Meneer in every town and city. He's a player who pretty much does local league and Super League, and 150 caps for his beloved Cornwall with over 100 wins. He's an excellent player. What's important about Neil Meneer is that players won't enjoy playing against him. He'll dictate the pace. And let me tell you, if he goes to sort of 2-2, he loves a scrap. So look out for him getting on top of them games. His highest average of the week was only 90. I think if he's going to win it tonight, he's going to have to post a real big average.
A player that can be spectacular, really quick, Jack Tweddell. Can produce some good stuff. Runner-up before when he's been here. He showed in that Group A campaign he was almost a match for Stone and Savada. He could be dangerous tonight.
Yeah, for me, he was one of the most consistent players of the week, and at times in the Group B, we were waiting for him to qualify. He's got a big crowd behind him tonight as well. That could be his 4th dart. Very likeable. And he's got a real story, which we'll try and get across in comms tonight as well. Really looking forward to seeing him play.
Yeah, he has got a bit of support in the audience tonight, has Jack Tweddell. Swindon Youth Darts have come to watch this evening. You can see them there. Kids and the parents and the organisers of that academy in Swindon. He's from the area as well. How much of a boost could that be? And what a great night they're going to have as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see. We've just been doing a couple of things on the stage with them as well. We've been doing some challenges. The academies are bursting at the seams right across the country. And for Jack Tweddell, it could be just that support that he needs. I mean, it could go against him, the fact that you don't want too much support there. But I think he'll feed off that, and that they could make the difference.
Yeah, and maybe, and look, they're all here in good spirit, but maybe makes it difficult for other players. Ross Montgomery is someone who has been known to let the crowd affect him on occasion in the past.
Yeah, I did myself a little bit. I was one of those players, and yeah, you're going to have to watch for Ross. But I think he said in his interview last night he's got to stop being so angry, because he can produce doubles like this. He's got a wonderful CV, Ross Montgomery. He's a real tough character. I've played him many, many times, and I know how difficult. He should just go and try and enjoy tonight. I mean, he's 62-year-old now, and like I say, but at the back of our minds, if one noise in the crowd, a bit similar to sort of Steve West, it can sort of derail him. Look out for that.
Snuck through on 6 points as well. I mean, he must be thinking this is a bonus tonight.
I think so, because the MODUS Super Series does create stars. Every stat you look at is at the bottom. But it's a different feel of Saturday night, not just the crowd, the sort of the format as well. We've seen it before, and I would never write him off.
He always finds a way. Ross Montgomery never failed to make it through to a finals night of the Super Series. Alex Small completes the lineup, won Group C in the end, and he's one of those players, you said it in commentary with me, he can be all or nothing, but he was pretty consistent over 2 days.
I thought he was magnificent. He exceeded my expectations, and the doubles, he was absolutely amazing. He's known for this rhythm play, rat-a-tat-tat, super quick. I think he's working on being just a little bit more measured. So I knew he would score big 180s, but his doubles were amazing.
Yeah, he topped the checkout charts, didn't he, Alex Small? 45%, even better than Adam Savada. If he
manages to continue that this evening, he's going to be up there, isn't he?
I'm confident he can do the score. I'm not so confident about the doubles because 45 is amazing. I just hope with the adrenaline pumping, he doesn't go back to the Alex Small. It's just been a little bit too quick. There was moments this week when he just sort of stood back, a little bit more composed, he was very courageous, and I thought that was the better of him. It's a big night for Alex Small.
If you are new to the Super Series here on Pluto TV, Saturday nights things go a little bit different. So there are 2 groups, each containing 3 players, and the top 2 in each group go through to the semi-finals, with the winner of Group 1 taking on the runner-up in Group 2, and vice versa. Gary Stone, Jack Tweddell and Neil Meneer make up Group 1. Adam Savard, Alex Small and Ross Montgomery in Group 2. Now, probably a lot of people would look at those groups, Glenn, and say, well, it's obvious which 2 are going through.
Not for me. I can't pick 2 out of Group 1, and I understand what you're saying about Group 2, but I would never write off Ross the boss. I think he's going to play that party poop, that maybe that bad guy on that stage. I'm struggling to pick 4 semi-finalists tonight.
Well, he is the outsider with the bookmakers. Ross Montgomery 11-1, Neil Meneer the second outsider as well, but they've gone with Adam Savard as the favourite at 2-1. They really are swayed by his form over the last couple of nights, and he goes in as a favourite just ahead of Gary Stone. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I think they've got that absolutely spot on. The fact that Adam's been able to play the full 5 days, he seems to have got better as the week went along. He's one of those players that he can play hours and hours. I think they've got that right.
If you are going to have a bet, please gamble responsibly. It's 18 plus, of course, gambleaware.org. Right, the opening match is about to get underway. Neil Meneer is involved in it, and he's going to take on the Scotsman Gary Stone, determined to pick up a win at the end of this evening. And he had a little chat with our very own Henry Deacon earlier tonight.
Well, Gabby, you needed a good day on Wednesday to go and win Group A from behind, and boy, did you deliver that.
Yeah, I was delighted. I thought I was going to get the perfect day on the Tuesday. Came in, I just thought, you know what, I wasn't even focused on winning the group, believe it or not. I just thought if I can get into Group B, because I knew with the kind of calibre of player it was here, Scott Taylor's, and obviously the way Adam had started the week, it was going to be difficult even to make Group B. So I thought if that was my aim coming into the Wednesday, and obviously I knew I was playing Jack first game, that was massive. If I lost that one, then I knew that the group was out the window anyway. So, and I got a result against Jack, then it kind of kicked me on for the rest of the day.
In terms of the level of play, it was consistent throughout the course of the 3 days you played in Group A. You must have felt like if you just carry on playing to the level you're at, 1 or 2 should drop below and you should get a bit more joy.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of hard to tell yourself that when you've only won 2 games out of 5. But no, it's once you go away and you sit down and you reflect a little bit, then the 3 days was pretty solid, I thought, like you said, but I think I'm going to have to find an extra gear tonight. I think, and the pleasing thing for me is we've said it enough times, I've been in here loads of times speaking to yourself, it's about progressing, it's about going for the Monday, improving Tuesday, improving Wednesday, and playing your best darts on a Saturday, and that's what I try and aim to do tonight.
We've spoken about this year, and this year being a year where you become Gary Stone, that's a golfer. Gary Stone, a player with potential, into Gary Stone, a player that wins things. You've lost a final here in the past. How much would you like to start this year with the statement that you want to carry on with?
No, I'd be delighted. I look back in that final quite a lot because it's a final I should have won. I've said that a million times. I could tell you exactly what I was left, 67, and I couldn't even throw a straight dart at the 17 to leave myself a shot. And Neil nipped it and beat me 4-3, and I thought that's the day it kind of changed things for me mentally wise, and that's when I reached out to Stuart at 360 performance, and I thought something needs to change. If I keep doing the same things, I'm going to get the same results. And like you said, that's about kicking the year off now, winning a week. I'd love to win a week. I've said it for long enough. I've hit the crossbar too many times here, and it's about time I get it over the line.
Wish you all the best. Gary, good luck.
Thanks very much, mate.
He's left himself a 98. There's just a little bit of a glimmer for Gary, particularly if he can find another one of them. Double top, wins it in style.
Gary, you require 157.
So Gary back on 157, so it's treble 19, and it's double top. And he does.
Game shot on the 4th leg. Gary, you require 96.
Time in his hands. Double. Oh,
Game
delightful.
shot, and the
What a
match.
way to end the
Gary
day for
Stone.
Gary Stone.
Gary, you require 87.
Well, he's had a dart against him, but he's going to get a dart himself at double five. And Gary Stone has done his job.
Yeah, he certainly is ready. And so are the audience as well, coming to watch an evening at the Super Series finals night about to get underway, the first of 9 fixtures. And this is the opener in Group 1, a meeting between Meneer and Stone. Neil Meneer coming through the ADC system, a qualifier from the southwest, as Glenn Durrant was describing, a consistent county player over the years, now having his own little day in the Super Series sunshine, taking on Gary Stone, who earlier in the week said that things need to change for him. No more being the Neely man, no more being the journeyman. It's time for him to start taking the honours. And he is amongst the favourites this evening. Can he do it tonight? The Scotsman, well, he smashed his way through Group A with a perfect day on Wednesday. He's had a couple of days off to rest up since then. And then Neil Meneer kind of took over because he had a perfect day with 5 wins from 5 on Thursday, the 42-year-old from Wadebridge, back for a second appearance. Could it be a first title for him? We'll find out over the course of the evening. Game 1 about to get underway. Paul Hinks, the referee for the night's action, and Glenn Durrant has joined Henry Deacon to talk you through the matches.
Thank you, Chris. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the business end of proceedings. A night where there's no second chances, no going back. And for the first time in 2025, we send invitations out to the Super Series ball. And the ballroom here in Portsmouth is absolutely packed. You can hardly move in there. There is hardly a seat to be had.
22.
Glenn Durrant is alongside me here in the commentary box all evening long. The first place through to the first Champions Week in 2025 is up on offer. And for one of these 6 players,
60.
It's an incredible way to kickstart a season.
Yeah, 6 players, I believe, really fancy their chances tonight. I think opportunity knocks when Scott Taylor,
85.
who was the favourite before a dart was thrown this week, went out. I think that opened the door. 4 players like Gary Stone, and that man in your picture, a guy I've championed for a long, long time. I feel there's a Neil Meneer in every town
100.
and city, a player that doesn't often travel the circuit, just sticks to his local league and Super League. He's a great player, represented his country in the BDO WDF
58.
system. But now is his moment, but he's up against a player who should be winning these type of titles, in my opinion, Henry.
Well, Gary Stone's a player brewing towards doing decent stuff. He had a good season on the ADC circuit in 2024, made it through to the final 12 of the ADC Global Championship in December. He lost to Andy Bolton 4-1 in the semi-finals of the Tour Championship.
100.
He had 290-plus averages that day, beat Darryl Pilgrim in the quarterfinals of that event. But you are correct. He is a player, Gary, who's had potential for such a long time. Made his debut at the Lakeside back in 2012. He's experienced, he's good enough, but now it's about turning that potential into trophies. Something that
60.
he said in his own
Neil
words.
Milcar, 80.
But it's Neil Meneer against the darts who has made the quickest start of the 2.
And he's been superb at this type of finish, and especially on double top as well. He has that really flat dart, meaning he doesn't have to move across the yockey.
60.
This time just can't get the balance, but just a little look at the score there to say that Gary Stone is not on a finish.
But that is only a temporary measure
136.
because he's left himself on
Milcar,
tops.
20.
And so Meneer can ill afford to miss 3 more at double 10. One more. Otherwise, Stone is on his shoulder. And he's going to get a go at double
No
top.
score. Gary Milcar, 40.
Let me tell you, he's not missed many with 3 darts in hand this week. That's when we talk about a difference, the feel that a Saturday night has. But Gary Stone's feeling it. He's been doing a lot of mental work and just getting his preparation as he goes to this double. Big dart early doors.
30. Neil Milcar, 20.
7 missed darts between the pair in this opening leg. Neil does have a corner of supporters towards the back of the auditorium, watching his big night, hoping that this double 5 goes.
Thank you.
It's a nerve-jangling dart. It's a huge dart.
15.
And it's another opportunity that goes a
10.
big, and he's had 7 darts to win this opening leg, and Gary Stone's going to return for the target that he has just missed.
Absolutely incredible, because we sit and watch these
He's your
players
first
all
leg.
week, and
Gary
Neil
Stone.
Meneer has not done that once this week, missed that amount of times at a double.
Second
for
leg,
Gary
Neil
Stone.
first.
Just a little chat there with Neil. What
Game
Neil is
on.
very good at, and he did it there though, he didn't engage with Gary Stone. He just concentrated on the board. They did that with Scott Taylor. Just had moments like that. He's so focused. But let me say inside, he'll be
85.
furious, because one of his real strengths is when he gets down to the double. And Gary Stone, who's not had a lot of luck, he feels on that stage, is that tide changing?
100.
Both players, in terms of their finishing, not too far off one another this week, both in excess of 37.5%. But over the course of the 5 days we've previously seen in this
100.
competition, Gary has found this innate scoring power, which has been way too good by comparison to what we've seen from Neil. 90.19 is his
140.
overall average for the week, in comparison to the 84.11 that Neil was able to muster over the 10 games he played in Group C.
It's
100.
the 10 missed darts at double between the pair of them has been an average buster. So it's not about statistics this game. It's now about the 2 points. And for
57.
Neil Meneer, all he wants to do is make his family proud. His mum and dad took him right round the country when he represented England under 16s at rugby before he found his love for darts. So the ex-rugby player
83.
would love to just say to the family, thank you very much. That's his motivation tonight.
Well, he's definitely going to try. It's the ex-rugby player, that's for sure. And he's left
100.
himself first to a
Neil
finish
Carr,
again.
133.
But unlike the previous leg when he had the luxury of time, Gary Stone straight away is right on the coattails. He's not going to take out the 133.
93.
And so he's going to
Gary
give his
Carr,
opponent a chance at
104.
104.
Yeah, against the throw as well, so it'll feel like a bit of a free, but he needs a treble. Gets the treble, double 12, 2-0.
Each on the second leg, Gary Stone.
Well, that was a cold
But the Gary
stone
first.
stunner. And that could be the moment that
Game on.
turns this game into the direction of the Scot. 2-0 he leads with a break in hand. And now with every opportunity just to motor
60.
home with this match.
Yeah, Neil Meneer has played 10 games this week and he's never been 2-0 down. 8 wins out with a 10.
97.
We'll have to see a different strategy from the Cornwall man. He looks still calm and composed, and one of his key strengths is the fact he loves a battle. And what I would
60.
say to Neil is don't let Gary Stone run away with things, but that was a sublime finish. And the kind of finish we expect from Gary Stone.
But we know Neil Meneer can keep very good company. You mentioned the
100.
fact he's played for England in the WDF system before. He won the British Internationals with them back in 2022 in a team which featured
136.
Luke Littler, Scott Williams, Justin Hood and James Hurrell, who are all currently on tour. He won both of his matches during that particular campaign. So we know
100.
there is a very high ceiling there. But it's unlocking it on what probably on an individual basis is as big a night as he's had in a long time.
58.
Yes, Gary Stone's had his moments as well, this time with a Scottish shirt on. 2012 won the Europe Cup singles. I expected him to kick on from there. I think his favourite moment was representing country winning the World Cup team event with Ross
140.
Montgomery as captain. So both players very proud when they put the national shirt on, but good response here from Meneer. This is against the throat, but these are the types of finishes he
123.
needs to start
Neil
getting
Carr,
tonight.
64.
And needs to get them now. He needs a couple of breaks to win this match. And Gary Stone's on his coattail. He's only going to get one in his hand, a double 16.
48.
That's now none from 8 on the
Gary
outer
Carr,
ring. And Gary
64.
Stone's got the same finish that his opponent was unable to take out.
Gary Stone, when he's 2-0 down, I would never fancy it. But when he's a front runner, you'd expect this tops to go.
24. Neil Carr, 16.
Simple as this, Neil Meneer has to take this double A tour equivalent at this turn, at this visit. It's double 4. And eventually Neil Meneer is on the board. He needs a couple of breaks. He's got one of them there. The match returns to throw at 2-1.
Game on.
Yes, I bumped into a couple of family and friends of Neil's in the hotel earlier. They tell me it's round about 5 hours away, Cornwall, but just by the respect from the crowd there, he's got support in there. Gary Stone just having a little look over. It really is match on now. Still advantage Stone. He's got the darts.
Yeah, packed to the rafters this evening. A fair few supporting Neil. A large bulk of the crowd has been made up by the Swindon Youth Darts Academy. A lot of them are supporting Jack Tweddell this evening. A few of the young players were on stage participating in a 9-dart challenge prior to the action getting underway. Some experience for them.
125.
Well, from a very nervy first leg, I think the young crowd have been tread to some really good scoring here. Neil Meneer has found his range.
140.
Gary Stone, who played at Lakeside this year against the legend, that is Paul Limp. 2 sets to 1 up in the last 16.
100.
Paul Limp, who was the star of the show, went on to win that match 3-2.
Meneer looking to square up at 2-2. Double 10. Doesn't go, but he has got time on his side. That was for a 12-darter.
Yes, he had a 1-5-6 in the week. But from 2-0 down, we did sort of say that Neil Meneer, he didn't engage with Gary Stone. He stayed in the zone. And now he's 2-2. That's his strength, and that's very, very impressive, because usually when Gary Stone goes 2-0 up, he runs away with things. He looks the stronger player right now, but Gary Stone has the darts.
Keegan Brown, absent without leave in the crowd this evening.
99.
He was sat in your chair on Tuesday, was Keegan. Sure, he'll be playing in this building before too long.
80.
Yep, loves to have the mic in his hand as well, but there's still a dart player in there. He's still a young man. And he'll be soaking up the wonderful atmosphere. I mean, Henry, you've seen some wonderful crowds here at the MODUS Super Series on finals night. I think the fact that, I mean, just look at that behind. That is a wonderful crowd. I know the players will appreciate it. You asked for a bit of order when the players are playing, and they've been
60.
magnificent so far. Cracking.
It's becoming a bit more of a regularity as well. This place getting fuller and fuller. There was a time where usually only the showpiece nights would yield a crowd like this, and sometimes the regulation weeks would have a low-level crowd, but this is becoming
55.
a real feature on a regular basis. And this really is a regular feature for Gary Stone. Big ton plus checkouts. He's already had one in this game, and he was a double 10 away from his second.
Yes, they both had a tremendous effort at the 140 finish. Gary Stone, he'll be thinking, he's been doing a little bit of work on his mindset, and he'll be thinking right now, and it might be depending on what Neil scores here, whether he splits. Don't be surprised if he goes for the big 2 now.
No score.
The only advantage there is the fact he has so much breathing space in this leg.
Yeah, opening game of the night, though. Nerves, adrenaline. It often creates drama. It often creates stories. And that 140 from Neil Meneer. Gary Stone will be feeling it right now. And that is snuck right in the corner. And he'll be thinking right now, when them darts going right bang, that could have easily been tops. Is tonight my night?
How the wires can be the smallest margins that separate so much.
81.
How a wire almost saw Jimmy Van Schie win this title once upon a time before Marvin Van Velzen picked his pocket.
85.
Stone, 3-2 up on Meneer.
26.
Reminder as well of how the format works in these group stages, that It's a win and a positive legs difference that's enough to always qualify you through. So, for example,
123.
if you win a game 4-3 and then you win a game 4-2, because you've got 2 points plus 1 in terms of legs difference, or if you win a game and you have a positive legs difference even from the defeat you have, you'll always be qualified through to the semi-finals. Now, if all 3 games in the group go by the same destination and the same scoreline on the same side of the draw,
59.
there will be a 9-dart shootout to determine the 2 players that will then progress through to the semi-finals.
Yeah, real key exchange here.
140.
He's solid. He is solid as a rock, Neil Meneer. It has the feel of like a county venue, and maybe that type of crowd is.
60.
He's scoring better. Just a little chat to himself there.
117.
And with 6 starts at least from 117, we could, Henry, be going the distance.
Is this the moment? Neil Meneer
77.
makes his move. He is going to come back for 3 more, but how he would have loved to have sunken that with no mistake whatsoever.
Yeah, one thing I didn't expect tonight,
44.
Henry, was to be
Neil
reading a
40.
checkout statistic of Neil Meneer of 2 from 13. He's been mustard on tops this week. Now this time he's got 3 in his hand.
Game shot.
That's what he has been doing. A little roar of come on. He didn't give an awful lot away. It's no eye contact once again. He loves a battle.
He's a man full of focus, and he's a man that may well be full of belief, because despite his troubles on the doubles, Gary Stone has not been able to put him away.
100.
And only a treble there with his first scoring visit of the 7th leg may invite a little bit of confidence, particularly after that first start. Particularly after this start. A 140 puts him in front in this leg by a dart.
Yeah, this is going to test the work that Gary Stone's been doing. Last time he was here, he was almost
48.
shaking his head when every player was hitting treble 20s against him. Now he's seen as a bun. There's that smile there. I want to see him stay really focused. Because look at that focus and determination in the eyes of Neil Meneer. The question was asked, does he have the ceiling? Does he have the game to win a Saturday night? And I think he's demonstrated an awful lot since that ropey first leg.
140.
This has the feeling of a Saturday night where everyone talks about one player, but possibly it's one of those that sits around the periphery that could quietly and surely do their damage. It is Neil Meneer, possibly
43.
that player. That's a big slip, though. That's a big slip with the last dart. And now suddenly Gary Stone has 6 to the finishing line.
But
55.
not taking their advantage. And that last one, the whole body was brought into it. That's a missed opportunity for Gary Stone. And the positive is down to a finish. The negative, he would have wanted to be well down to the 158. And what Neil Meneer would give for 138 here.
100.
He's on a 2-darter, and now he has to hope that Gary Stone cannot take out the 158. He's had 4-ton plus finishes this week, including a 160. And he almost found a 158 to win it there.
78.
What a fabulous effort, Gary Stone. But Neil Meneer was just in a world of his own. On 78, he'll expect the darter tops. Has to hit the 18. The treble is the bonus. Down to 1 darter tops.
38.
Both players have had a opportunity to win this match. It's Gary Stone who's going to get first stab but a second opportunity. And double 4 is his double a choice. And it's sunk. And Gary Stone, by the skin of his teeth, takes the opening match of the night. He had to evade a match dart from Neil Meneer. He knows that's a game that could have so easily have gone in a different direction, but it's a game that he's got through nonetheless, and maybe a game that 12 months ago he would have slipped by and would have let pass by. Not the greatest game statistically from his perspective, but they're 2 points nonetheless. A priceless 2 points for him. A 4-3 win for Gary Stone to kickstart the night against Neil Meneer. Coming up after the break, we're going to kickstart Group 2 with a meeting between Adam Sada and Ross Montgomery. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
One more time, your new MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
Welcome back. Well, before the break, Gary Stone got a victory in a last leg decider against Neil Meneer. Will it be double Scottish success now as we move into Group 2 and Ross Montgomery gets his campaign underway on what is another finals night? Never failed to make it on a Saturday night now in 5 attempts, Ross Montgomery, but he's got a tough task in his opening match of the evening. He takes on Adam Savada of the USA, who has had a fantastic debut week here in Portsmouth, and Henry Deacon spoke to the American earlier on.
Well, Adam, it's fair to say you've made an imprint here at the Super Series. You've played 5 days. 3 of them you've had perfect campaigns. Could you have imagined it's gone as well as this?
I didn't imagine it was going to go as well, but I knew my darts were going well, so I figured it'd be decent. Yeah.
And I suppose as well, you've played very well, but you've also had to come back for a little bit of adversity. You had that little bit of a blip on Tuesday and Wednesday. How pleased were you the way that you then responded in Group B?
Very well. I think I put a little too much pressure on myself on Tuesday based off of how I threw on Monday, and I was more relaxed the next couple of days after that, so it worked out well.
In terms of Monday, because you played so well, did it almost put a little bit of a target on your back?
Maybe for others, but I didn't feel like there was a target on my back. But like I said, I just felt I put too much pressure on myself to keep up that level of play. But like I said in our interview upstairs, I'm human and, can't always do it.
In terms of Group B, 16 points for a maximum 16 available. How pleasing was that?
Oh, it was nice. After the first match, after I already knew I needed to win one match, and once I was in, I was relaxed after that. So everything went well.
In terms of tonight, it's a different type of competition because the dynamics change. It's knockout now. You've got a crowd in. How does that change things from your perspective?
It doesn't change one bit. It's one game at a time, one dart at a time, and just go from there. The only thing that matters at the end of the day is the W. So that's what I plan on doing.
And it could be a historic night. You could be just the second American to win here if you are able to win the scene. We wish you all the very best in that pursuit. Adam, good luck.
Thank you.
Adam,
He's
you
got a bit of
require
shoulder in one of those
120
darts
knots.
sometimes and pushes it over to the 1.
Treble 16 leaves himself double 12 for the 129.
On his second leg.
Superb from
Adam
Savada.
Adam, you require 116.
116 for Savada to draw first blood. It's a nice guide. Nestled it on top, and now it's tops. Superb,
first leg.
scintillating brilliance from Adam Savada. The 116 is his latest thumb plus out.
There's a little bit of pressure off Savada here on the 88. He gets 2 darts. Double 14.
The second
Only
leg.
needs 1.
Adam Sada.
I understand why he did that. It was such a good opening dart. Does mean that Savada's got the luxury going down the 16s route, knowing that Ross Montgomery couldn't finish, and he does it with real aplomb in 2 darts. Savada leads 2-1.
Well, there's every chance, isn't there? What a week he's had, Adam Savada, rocking up here on Monday, all the way across the Atlantic from the USA and winning all of his games in his first day's play. Actually went on to win the next 2 on Tuesday as well, before eventually just missing out in that Group 8 campaign. Savada came through in Group B, though, with consecutive perfect days. So only the 6th player to have gone through Group B unbeaten. Only the 2nd player to have had 3 different perfect days. And if he's perfect tonight, he'll be taking the trophy back with him, the 39-year-old. He faces Ross Montgomery, the 62-year-old Glaswegian, in his opening match. And there were 10 full points between them in Group B, with Ross Montgomery sneaking through with just 3 victories in that group. He knows he's had all of his lives really this week, but he wins this match, this race to 4, and suddenly he is looking more likely than Savada. That's the beauty of the Super Series. Can Ross be the boss in this one, or will Savada make it a hat-trick of wins
Ladies and gentlemen, first
against
leg,
Montgomery
Adam
here?
first. Game on.
Well, Paul Hink says game on, so with that I'll hand you back to Glenn Durrant and Henry Deacon.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris. And what a great start it was for Scotland, because Gary Stone won that opening game in a thrilling match
16.
with Neil Meneer. And the ex-Scotland captain, the most capped Scottish captain of all time, Ross Montgomery. It's not how you qualify, was the narrative coming
16.
from Ross Montgomery. It's just about getting there. But one startling statistic, that man in your picture won 18 games this week, in comparison to Ross Montgomery, who won 3. But the Super Series, Henry, they create some special stories, and we've seen before that the player with the worst statistics going into Saturday night can be picking the trophy up at the end.
It's a tournament within a tournament on Saturday here at the
16.
Super Series. You almost reset and you start again. Everything that happens before this day tends to go out the window a little bit. But the man from Parker is looking to pen a spot into Champions
16.
Week come the end of play this evening. Adam Savada, who out of the 5 days he's played this week has completed cards in 3 of them. And take away a little bit of a blip in the middle of proceedings on Tuesday and Wednesday,
140.
has statistically been the best player over the course of the 5 days. An overall average of 92.76, 40% on his doubles, and 41 180s over
81.
the course of the 5 days he's played here. He has been head and shoulders statistically over the rest of the field.
So, how do I give Ross Montgomery some sort of defence for this game
45.
based on what Henry's alluded to? Well, in their first game of their 2-match head-to-head this week, I'm disregarding, because Ross Montgomery went into that one with steam coming out of his ears from his previous game with Richard Rowlands, and it was the final game of Thursday night, where yesterday at one point these were 2-2. Opening game in Group B, day 2, and a 2-2. Ross Montgomery had 3 darts at tops and tens and missed.
140.
He very easily
80.
could have won that game. So that might be as one-sided as you think. Both players on potential 2 darters, but Savada won't like their opener.
And this is where Saturday nights can come into its own. Adam Savada has been the dominant
24.
force all week.
Russell Carr,
However, when
56.
it comes to this stage and this type of environment, Ross Montgomery has got experience unlike anybody else in this building tonight. Double 10 for the Scotland legend.
36.
But there are a couple of opportunities that come and
56.
go, and so Savada, who, as I mentioned earlier on, has been 40% on his doubles this week, will fancy his chances in taking tops. And
Game
take
first
tops
leg,
he will
Adam
to
Savada.
lead 1-0.
Second leg, Ross to through first. Game on.
And just looking at those stats, one big one that just sticks out and just sort of reminds me of that one there is the fact that Ross Montgomery, when he won doubles this week, he's on 22%. Way less than any other player who's qualified tonight. I just sense when he had that opportunity there, he might just stick. He might use that experience that Henry mentioned. But we also talked about the fact that Savada, we know he's a big scorer. We know he can hit doubles, but his skills and abilities, and to have that last dart there on that 56, that's what impresses me most.
Have we got to the point where the vulnerabilities on Tuesday and Wednesday are just a bygone product, or is it something
100.
that perhaps as the night goes on could be brought back up again, Adam Savada?
He did mention it in his interview yesterday, so I don't think it's been wiped clear from his mind.
121.
Still looking for our first 180 of the night. The placards are ready. What a wonderful, wonderful crowd tonight.
What a wonderful experience as well for a lot of those that are here this evening.
81.
As I mentioned, a lot coming here from the Swindon Darts Academy in Wiltshire. Great to have them here tonight. For some, it might be the first time they've ever watched top-class darts like this. And I wonder what your first experience was of watching darts at this level. Did you ever watch anything like this growing up? Did you ever get to go to an event like this growing up?
Well, I'm
47.
4 miles away from a
Undercar
place called
100.
Redcar, where the British Unipart was. And that was my first experience. For Savada, the experience of being here for double 10 for a 2-0 lead.
80. Russell Carr 148.
To try and keep himself in the contest, Montgomery is going to take out the 148, and so Savada's going to get 3 more in his hand at double 10 to get the break of
100.
foe and to
Undercar 20.
stamp his authority over the boss right from the get-go.
Interesting
Russell
couple of
Carr,
visuals there.
48.
Number one, I've never seen him react like that on a missed double. So Ross Montgomery is getting chances. Savada's feeling it, let me tell you. And Ross may have picked up on that. Couple of opportunities at a double in the previous leg. That's high, wide and handsome.
8.
Well, Ross
Adam
Montgomery has
Carr,
been
5.
given openings by Adam Savada, but as of yet has not been able to take advantage of the crumbs that's been given to him at the table. Savada back for double 2. He could find himself 2-0 up, but it's fair to say he doesn't look comfortable at all.
Fidgety. He does not look good. This is not
1.
the Adam Savada
Russell Carr 40.
who has been brilliant this week. It just goes to show you, as we harp on, the difference that crowd and the whole occasion can be.
And if there's one player that will feel that, it's Ross Montgomery. And if there's one player that will take
Game shot on the
advantage of
second leg.
that,
Ross
it is
Montgomery.
Ross Montgomery. 1-1. He knows
Third
he's
leg
got
out,
away
just
with
first.
one,
Game on.
has the Scot, but he'll be happy to be on terms nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't want to get too statty, but I think it has to be highlighted in the sense that Ross Montgomery, them
43.
darts there, they were his 102nd dart at a double this week, and he's only got 22. But you can just see the grimace there. That's the one area I think he can score with the rest of the players. I think that's been okay.
41.
Hasn't hit the amount of 180s he's wanted to. But the doubles need to improve. And once again, last start, double 10, brings it back in this game against a Sada we didn't expect tonight.
60.
Well, Ross Montgomery's relationship with the Super Series is a little bit of a double-edged sword. Has never failed to qualify for finals night, but has only got out the group once on a Saturday.
100.
Made it through to the semi-finals. And you may remember his last appearance here where he had that infamous miscount on the double 8, which then actually came back to cost him.
140.
There was another one of those Andreas Harrison nights in the end at the live lounge as he got the better of Mike Warburton in that particular final.
95.
Yeah, Adam Savada plying his trade on the CDC Tour of 2, and I've just kept my eye on a lot more. And he actually won 2 of the last 3 in 2024 against the big hitters, the Leonard Gates of this world, the Jim Longs who's gone on, the Jeff Smiths, so he can play. And also we saw Jake Womack from the CDC as well. So he played at Madison Square Garden last year in the World Series, so he's played on the big stages. But one thing we're noticing right now, he is not looking that comfortable. But he's in control on throwing this leg.
But it was Stowe Bunce and Jim Long he beat in the final of those particular events. We know that he can hold it up with some of the most elite
84.
of opposition. He's left himself on a 2-darter. Now he has to hope that Ross Montgomery hasn't got the biggest finish of them all up his sleeve. Another one of them would have given him a poke at the ball for the break, and Savada is going to have a look at this 79.
Yeah, my analysis that he was in a good position in this leg.
82.
Despite the fact he was on a bogey,
79.
Savada, and Montgomery had that attempt at the 170. Might be just the one dart at tops again. Certainly not a brilliant dart for the treble for double 11. That's much better.
Adam Savada.
Into
Four-way
proceedings and
roster
into a
first. Game
2-1
on.
lead. Adam Savada halfway towards a victory in his first match of the night. And for Adam, he's been smashing glass ceilings this week.
60.
His highest ever recorded average came on Monday against Gary Stone, an average of 110.34. His highest on the CDC Tour actually also came last year, so he is a player that's very much trending in the
60.
right direction. That was an average of 101.5. As Keegan Brown gets in on the action. That average came against Jacob Brooks in Niagara Falls at a tour event in the
85.
middle of last year. He's only taken the sport seriously since 2019, so just before the COVID lockdown.
94.
And if he continues to get better, he is a player that possibly in North America could well knock on the door of a World Championship spot this year.
140.
He's just sweating up a little bit in the background, just dabbing his brow, and that 140 from Ross Montgomery won't help. Or has it? Has it motivated him?
140.
It's still advantage Montgomery here. Nothing to separate them. That doesn't help the cause.
$71.
If there's one thing we've always learnt about Ross Montgomery is he will stick with a task no matter what. There was a point when Savada opened up this match, it looked like he could begin to dominate with proceedings, and he's seemingly always been a score in front in legs. But when his opponent's missed opportunities, Montgomery has tried to lie around the background. But the problem he's got is he could be broken
41.
again here because Savada has left
36.
double 18 after just 12 darts.
Yeah, what a setup that was. Is it the lesser spot of double 17? You don't often see this double hit. Looks a good mark, and he just sit on top of it. What a camera angle that was. Savada, it's Montgomery harder.
Fifth leg Adam to through first. Game on.
A leg away from a 4-1 win, and just to go back to the connotations of the permutations, if he can win this match by 4 legs to 1, it means he would only need a couple of legs in his next match to send himself through. As a matter of fact, he may not even need to win his next match, because if he beats Ross Montgomery here and Alex Small does him a favour, them two will be
100.
playing off the top spot in the group in the final match of Pool 2.
Yeah, this is a player, though, Henry, that qualified very early in Group B.
140.
And his response to that was, I just want to continue winning games. So he won't want to hear permutations. He'll just want to play 2 and win 2 in this Group 2.
60.
And he's got this game now in the palm of his hands. 6 darts on 2-6-1 to claim a 4-1 success and to put himself in full control of this second group of the evening.
140.
That 140 leaves himself a 1-2-1 after 9. And you feel like for Ross Montgomery, unless he hits a max, the game could be up.
140.
Yes, he had a little bit of a wobble, didn't he, after that second leg? But he gathered his thoughts and really did start to put the afterburners on. And he has a match dart.
103.
It's an opportunity missed, but it's not a major opportunity he's let slip. He's going to come back for 3 more. A double 9
60.
to complete a 4-1 success.
He was favourite going into the night, and that's the reason why Adam Savada had his highs and lows early in that match, a few little nerves, but he found the afterburners, he found his real strength there. Ross Montgomery looking very pensive, deep in thought. He's got a lot of work to do to qualify now. The American races off back there. Good numbers there. Savada tops the charts of the majority, round about that 90 average, which is really solid for these players. Ross Montgomery, once again, it's those doubles, 1 from 7. That'll be something that will disappoint him. He missed his opportunity there, but the American is flying right now as we go back to Group 1. It's match 2, a match that Neil Meneer has to win. He's up against Jack Tweddell.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Luke Ledlow!
Welcome back to finals night here at the MODUS Super Series. We're live on Pluto TV, and this is what's happened so far. In Group 1, a victory for Gary Stone over Neil Meneer, who will take on Jack Tweddell in the next game. In Group 2, Adam Savada continuing his domination of Ross Montgomery this week. A 4-1 success for the American in that one. And Ross Montgomery with a lot of work to do in that group. But we are going to return to Group 1 now, and Jack Tweddell is going to be on the stage for the first time this evening. He takes on Neil Meneer, who needs a win to stay in. Tweddell would be through if he gets rid of Meneer in this one. He's got a bit of support in the audience as well, and Henry Deacon spoke to him earlier tonight.
Jack, first time you've played the 5 days here at the Super Series, what would be your assessment of things overall?
Yeah, I think I played really well, really steady. I would have liked the 2 days off, but the fact that it didn't quite happen, it doesn't mean anything really to me. I'm happy to get all of the practice.
In terms of yourself, you bounced back very quickly from that disappointment in Group A because it was a situation where you had it in your hands with not long to go, then you dropped that game against Arna. Was that 24-36 hour break just about, okay, this is just a fresh Group B, just try and get through no matter what?
Yeah, exactly that. For me, it was very much a case of start again. It's a completely different, same as tonight. It's a completely different tournament. Group B, try and obviously get to 10 points was my aim, and obviously I ended up doing that, which is great.
Would you say consistency has been your biggest strength this week?
Yeah. I think for the most part, other than last night, struggled a little bit, but did what I needed to do. But for the most part, I was around a sort of 90, 91, 92 average, so I'm happy with where it is.
Second time in the final, second time that you've been here. What is it about this environment that just seemingly brings a real settled side out of your game?
I think I just like the format. I like the format. I like the conditions here. The stage and the hockey and everything is perfect. Obviously, it's set up by players, you can tell. So yeah, it's just a really comfortable place to play.
It was the final last time. How much would you like to go one better this time?
I'd love to go one better this time. I feel like last time Andy played very well. But I feel like last time I kind of maybe threw it away a little bit because I missed a few doubles in the final, but I hopefully don't intend doing that again.
Go well, wish you all the best, Jack. Good luck.
Thank you, mate.
Oh. Tweddell averages 107 plus on debut.
Special player. And Jack Tweddell gets the better of Adam Paxton by 4-0. In the last leg he hit a max to change the complexion of proceedings. Jack Tweddell gets a max dart at tops to finish off with a 180 down for double free. And this is the stuff of debut dreams.
And as we've been telling you, Jack Tweddell has got plenty of support in the arena. The 50 or so from Swindon Youth Darts coming to watch tonight. It's actually a coincidence. They booked quite a while ago to come to this event. Didn't know who would be in it, but Jack Tweddell has done them proud. He's booked his place at finals night, and they've got somebody to cheer for, and that will make the task even tougher, won't it, for Neil Meneer, having gone down to Gary Stone in that last leg decider in the opening match of the night. He's now going to have to get the better of Tweddell, and that will be no mean feat. The Swindon slinger, 29 years of age. Last time he was here at a finals night, made it all the way to the final match. Tweddell will qualify if he wins this game, and he'll take Gary Stone with him. Neil Meneer himself can qualify if he wins this match 4-2 or better. And I'll just mention it once, but a 4-3 win here for Meneer, well, there is a potential of a 9-dart shootout, which I'm sure Glenn Durham and Henry Deacon would be thrilled about.
Thank you, Chris.
Game on.
The atmosphere in here has the feeling of a European Cup tie where Jack Tweddell has home advantage. Unfortunately for Neil Meneer, there's no away legs rule in this particular match, but legs is something that he will need. As you rightly
96.
mentioned, Chris, a 4-3 win for Meneer means he can only go home via a 9-dart shootout. To win 4-2 or better, he would automatically
59.
qualify through to the semi-finals, and then we will be going through the permutations as to how Gary Stone and Jack Tweddell will go through in the final match of Group 1. But for Jack Tweddell, it
60.
felt like an atmosphere at Anfield when Liverpool played Chelsea in a Champions League semi-final. It was fever pitch as he walked onto the hockey.
96.
Yes, I've played in front of a crowd which are totally on your side, and it brings its own pressures. You don't want to let your friends, family, you know, the representatives from Swindon there.
83.
I was always a player just that liked to hear the one voice, and I get the sense that Neil Meneer is that type of person, and he's got his own friends and family in there, as Neil. Oh, listen to that!
There's more than one voice there. The first 180 of the night met with a tremendous roar.
War?
60.
Well, it is all out war now. Jack Tweddell has sent out the first statement of intent.
96.
And he has left himself after 12 darts against the throw on 70.
I was just looking visually how it's affected him, and there's a bounce in his step. Because yesterday,
130.
I had real concerns for him. He was suffering a little bit of nerve damage in his leg. Well, that one to be backed with the tops because Meneer's right behind him.
30.
Neil Meneer is that player where you just cannot kick him off.
You can't keep a good man down for long. But he could be a couple of darts away from going one up here. But he's missed the big number. He's going to sacrifice the opportunity at tops. And he's going to see his opponent
32.
get 3
Go
darts at the
40.
target he should have had an opportunity at.
Interesting, that 180 has made that adrenaline
No
pump
score.
through the body of Jack Tweddell. That
40.
noise might have been a shock to the system. And maybe it's to his detriment. Neil Meneer's gone away with one there. He leads 1-0.
He's got his supporter base at the back of the auditorium.
Jack to
This
through
could well
first.
be the
Game
loudest
on.
match of the night. And let's be honest, Glenn, we were taken aback by how loud that cheer was for that max. Hang on a second. We almost soaked up a second 180 of the game there for Jack Tweddell.
Yes, thank you, Swindon Youth Dart. You are creating a memorable atmosphere here. The best of order when the dart players are throwing. A wonderful atmosphere when the big scores
60.
and doubles are being hit. Enthralled. It's been an engrossing night so far. It hasn't been bags of quality,
57.
but incredible amount of drama.
Well, that well prepared, they even bought their own signs and their own email address.
100.
Any way of getting free advertising, Glenn?
That's the perfect dart for Tweddell.
100.
Even a stage where he'll be slightly disappointed, hence just the little rise of the eyebrow there, because that first dart was begging for more. But Meneer's a scrapper, isn't he? I know he's lost
81.
that first game. I know he's missed the big number there. You just get the sense he really enjoys the fight.
94.
The problem he had against Gary Stone was he was never really able to build a head of steam in that match. It always felt Gary was in control of that contest. And even when it went 3-3,
Jack the car 110.
even though he had a dart to win it, it never felt like he was the player most comfortable. Jack Tweddell is looking that. Decided to go bullseye with dart 2, and he's going to leave himself on double top because Neil wasn't on a finish.
Yeah, he settled nicely, Jack Tweddell. I seriously think he was taken aback by the noise. But he's back in the zone.
99.
Pressure coming from
Jack
Neil
car
Meneer.
40.
And this for a level game after 2 legs. Beautiful.
Each on the second leg, Jack Tweddell.
There's a real story about
Good
Jack
Neil to
Tweddell
through
as well.
first. Game on.
Jack Tweddell was a player I was sort of following from afar around about 2015, 2016. And all of a sudden, I just didn't see his name for 6-7 years. And he's happy for me chatting about it tonight, but he had a couple of mini strokes, a few health issues, and literally only started playing darts around about 2020, 2021. Started doing a couple of local tournaments in 2023, and between him and Johnny Haynes, they dominated the Swindon area. But it's the ADC that's got him back. I mean,
16.
Henry, you've seen him play via the ADC. That's been the catalyst for him to get back to where he's at now.
And he made an instant impact here. In his first 2 matches on this stage, on his debut in the previous series in September, he averaged 97 and 107 back-to-back. He made the final that week. He lost to Andy Hamilton. He's looking to go one better this time. He will be playing on the ADC Championship Tour when that arrives in Aylesbury next month, February 8th and February the 9th. That takes place at Bradmore Farm.
But we are seeing the ADC being the catalyst for many players. Neil Meneer, never mind that. I'm just getting on with my job. He's almost like sneaky, Neil Meneer. You think that Tweddell is beginning to dominate.
18.
And then you look at Meneer. His first down to a finish. Has he got the number of Jack Tweddell? Double 19 will say yes.
80. Jack 170.
If this goes, just listen to the noise in here. But the 170 isn't going to be netted by Tweddell. So Meneer's got a decision to make here. Does he split or does he hit?
Very old school route. If there's a double, I'll go for it. Biggest start the match so far.
22. Jack 74.
He's not as confident in that side of the board as he compared to that tops. Outstanding. Listen to that. And I think you're right, Henry. If a 170 goes, or dare I say a 9 darter goes, the church roof will be broken.
57.
Well, I've been praying for that in this church for 2.5 years. But the darting gods haven't answered just yet.
You need a better pen, young man.
58. $99.
There's a set of darts in my bag for the first placard I see with the word Shabba.
You do know they haven't
28.
got earpieces, don't you?
That's how tight I am. I ain't giving more darts away to nobody.
To be honest, I think they'll be glad anyway.
38.
Better to be a has-been than a no-been.
$96.
Well, isn't it great to see so many young players soaking up the atmosphere? If this night inspires one player who then, in maybe 5 or 6 years, say, I was there the night with Swindon
41.
Dart and play on that stage, then it's a job well done.
And it is all about inspiration. It is all about inspiring. And I suppose for those that sacrifice their time as well.
Get ready, Henry. Hold on to your seats, everyone. Wowzers.
Even the camera nearly gave way there. And even Neil Meneer is getting in on the act. But the act could be over for him sooner rather than later, because Tweddell here has got an opportunity to open up a 2-leg lead and would need just one more to send him home.
62.
He's missed tops. Meneer, you said, has to take the 73.
This has been his forte all week. So strong. Ice through the veins, 2-2. Wonderful atmosphere. Smiles on the faces of both players. I think they're taken aback by the atmosphere tonight. I really do.
And the thing is, we've had big crowds like this before, and sometimes you can have a crowd like this that are as quiet as church mice, to pardon the pun. But this is a big crowd making a big racket. But not in a way that's putting players off, in the right way, when the time is right. And look, that's no surprise. They're people that know the game, that play the game, that breathe the game. So they'll know the appropriate moments to do the appropriate things.
Well, Chris Murphy's mentioned it tonight. You mentioned it in your opening salvo as well.
81.
But if Neil Meneer wins this game 4-3, there's a potential 9-dart shootout. That crowd, that would be insane.
140.
It happened in the last Super Series week we saw in 2024 at the Champions Week.
58.
But this is a big passage in play.
100.
Tweddell with a big treble, and he has taken the throw off Meneer here.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying this, and Jack Tweddell all
41.
of a sudden is really enjoying it. He had that dart at tops, didn't to go 3-1 up. Almost match point in a best-of-7 game. But he's bounced back nicely. He's against the throw here.
84.
And that last treble has put him in a tremendous position. Only a 180 from Meneer.
$125.
He'd be disappointed he's not on a finish. He cannot apply pressure to this 102, which could go, does go. Just listen to that. Their man is a leg away from the semi-finals, and he has the darts to do it.
He seems to be handling the situation with real maturity.
100.
Neil Meneer now can only qualify from this group via a 9-dart shootout.
100.
Is that the sucker punch for Neil Meneer? Is that the moment that for the man from Cornwall, who's worked so valiantly to put himself in this position, his brave attempt comes to an end?
Yes, he finished runner-up in Group C, but he was at the top of the charts for the majority of it. It was just the brilliance of Alex Small at the end. He's the only player that we haven't seen tonight. He's up next.
58.
But Jack Tweddell has, we felt, got the tools to do some damage tonight, but he's put himself in a wonderful position. But effectively, given the darts back to Neil Meneer, there's nothing
57.
in this match.
The only way Neil Meneer can now go through is via a 9-dart shootout.
58.
He's out of options, he's out of lives, he has to leave it all right here. $140 for Meneer, leaves himself on 64 to bring it back to 3-3.
96. The other car 64.
What a match. What an atmosphere. Big Dart, he loves double top. And that's the reason why he loves it. We are going the distance again. Group 1 has been brutal tonight.
7th and final leg, Neil to through first.
One leg,
Game on.
501. It's all in or nothing for Neil Meneer.
He has the darts, crucially.
$100.
Hey, Henry, you've seen probably about 10,000 games sat on that chair. This one's a real standout for me.
Well, this is proper matchcraft. And you owe somebody a set of darts, by the way.
I didn't see it.
Can we get the camera up back to that person, please?
Forget Shabba, show me the darts, because this is going right down to the wire. He doesn't hate that dart. He's able just to use that as a guide often. I think he almost said come on to himself there. A beautiful last one. Down to the wide, but you've got to admire Jack Tweddell against a throw to start this leg. Ton 40, but trebleless there. Shabba.
Congratulations, you've just won a set of Glendoven darts, also available at all good car boot sales.
Second prize is 2 sets of Glendoven darts, but hey,
61.
never mind that. Jack Tweddell 161. It's been a stunning game. Are we about to see an incredible conclusion?
97.
Because this is massive for Meneer.
He had a big 156 yesterday, but he's not going to find a big 160. And with that, could well spell the end of his hopes. He got 85. To 3 legs against Gary Stone. It's 3 legs all he's going to get against Jack Tweddell, because he's going to get a dart at double 60, but he cannot
48.
take it.
Neil Car 75.
Neil Meneer has been offered a lifeline throughout the week. He has been deadly in this type of situation. It might be 1 dart at tops again, and usually that means one thing. It's going to be 1 dart at tops if you can hit a big 18. All down to this dart. What a player. What a finish. What an incredible conclusion. Look at that celebration. Jack Tweddell played his part in a magnificent game, full of drama. And look what it means to the man from Cornwall. He's having the time of his life up there. And once again, when it comes down, that bottle with 1 dart in your hand, he's loving absolutely every second of that. The stats, well, on this occasion, it wasn't all about that. Jack Tweddell had the higher average down there, but the doubles of Neil Meneer, that's been his strength for the week. And that 75 finish, that could be so important at the end of the night. As we then now go back to Group 2 and we say follow that. And for the first time, we see Alex Small. He plays Ross Montgomery.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new
MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Luke Lidlow!
On 10 for Small, with Taylor way back in the 300s. Tops for 2-2. Beautiful.
Fourth leg, Alex Small.
With a chance for Small to take the proceedings. Bullseye. What a way to finish the match. Alex Small. Oh, this is special. That's Alex Small.
Alex Small.
A 116 to get the break, and then he'd throw for his place through. He's gonna get a darter double top. He's gonna get double top.
Alex Small.
And a tongue top at the perfect time.
Yeah, Alex Small, the final of the 6 players to be in action this evening, and he could be through with one win. Small will qualify if he gets a victory over Ross Montgomery, who of course went down 4-1 to Adam Savada in the first match in Group 2, meaning that if Small does get the win here, then Savada would be through as well, and their head-to-head at the end of the group stages would just be a straight fight to see who wins the group. Ross Montgomery can actually qualify if he wins this match 4-0, or he can open up the possibility of a 9-dart shootout with a 4-1 win. If he gets any other result, he'd be relying on what happens in that final game. So the wild card seems to be holding the aces in this one. Small looking to see off the Scotsman and kind of continue that finals night misery for Montgomery that Henry Deacon spoke about earlier. He's got a big task ahead of him, and Glenn and Henry will talk you through it.
First leg, Ross to throw first.
Anything for Keegan Brown to avoid a night at work? Where's his darts, Keegan? Asked Glenn.
I only brought one set.
And with Montgomery's first score, he finds a 125. Admittedly,
125.
if you did give him to Keegan Brown, then he'd probably thrown better than you have recently.
177.
2016. Ross Montgomery was an England captain in Glenrothes. As the atmosphere was reminiscent of tonight. There was a young player from Wales in the boys' event by the name of Alex Small. How times have changed now. Now they're up there, scrapping for everything. I've been so impressed with Alex Small this week. Very fast and furious, dynamic, exciting player. But at times, maybe just a little bit too quick. He need to be more measured, more composed. And we've seen glimpses of that this week, Henry.
He's still a player learning about himself, and he's happy to still say that he's a developing player. Even though he's won things, even though he's done things, even though it's been a few years since those successes, he still feels like his future is forwards and not his past being behind him and his glory days being back in 2022. He feels there's still something to be had in this game, and there could be a great start to this game. If he could find double 11, it would have been for a dozen darter. But by not finding it, Montgomery looks at 76 to take out the opening leg.
Been magnificent on his doubles this week, Alex Small. Let's see how they go tonight with That's Criminal. That will hurt the boss. He's kept his emotions in check. It's what he wanted to do. This is awkward, though, because your mind as a player is thinking of the big 11.
Getting shown the first leg, Alex
Great
Small.
recovery in the end to find the double 7. He gets the break of throw. It's an unconventional 14 darter, but it's a decent enough start nonetheless, even if the end of leg 1 was a little bit wobbly.
139.
Yeah, before a dart is thrown, we don't just put the mic in our hands. We sort of look at and do a little bit of preparation. And do you know, honestly, Henry, I forgot how good the record of Ross Montgomery
100.
was. I went away back in 2010, and what was the unwritten major in BDO darts as I did our Masters?
121.
A 2-time Dutch Open champion, a British Open champion, an England Open champion, to win Wales as well. You know, the longevity of the day of that one. Every major BDO
95.
WF title he won, and then I never once thought he'd go to the PDC, but he went there, and I think he enjoyed that experience.
We never
28.
actually got to defend his second Dutch Open title because obviously it was postponed because of COVID, and by the time it came back again, as you mentioned, he got his PDC tour card. Winner of 14 BDO/WDF ranking events over the course of his
81.
career. And he's looking to win his first real big seniors one next month for the Circus Taverns. Got Trina Gulliver
59.
in the first round of the World Seniors Championship. But his hopes here may well be teetering towards the tungsten tightrope.
65.
5-25 in the last start to leave
154.
himself on a finish. Small looking at 154. He's not going to grab it to open up a 2-0 lead.
64.
And you feel like
Russian
Ross
car,
needs a
160.
moment like this.
Well, it's a type of finish that dart players really like because there's not a lot of moving around the board. But of course, without stating the obvious, you need to find that treble first of all.
42. Alex Khan, 90.
Alex Small, I think, will go for the bull with the last dart here if he stays straight on the 20s. But that's looking good for the treble. It is the bull.
65. Russia car 118.
They're all in a straight line, but the length were all pitched above. And so Montgomery needing just one treble here and gets the treble. Tops
98.
just below. And so
Alex
Small
Khan,
will come back
25.
for a 2-love lead.
Yes, we've sat in this chair all week. And when Ross Montgomery's wanted a dart at tops, he's often gone low. He made a hash of the finishes in the first leg, did Alex Small, but he got there in the end.
23. Russia car 20.
Well, he's inviting opportunities for Ross Montgomery, which he doesn't need to give him. He's completely outscored his opponent.
10.
But Montgomery cannot take his
Alex Khan,
chances. And this
2.
match following a similar pattern to his game against Adam Savada, where he missed 6 darts at a double. He's missed 4 in the first 2 legs here.
It's doubles, she
Game
wrote.
shot on the second leg. Alex Small.
Ross Montgomery. I anticipated the issue he had
Third
with the
leg,
doubles
Ross
in
to third
qualification
first. Game on.
would have been corrected tonight. But once again, it's been his Achilles heel, and Alex Small has picked up the scraps. He leads 2-0.
100.
Well, this has been a game of two halves for Alex Small. The scoring has been, well, it's been nigh on perfect at times, but the finishing has had such an air of suspectability about it. And one thing we do know about Alec is he will watch these matches back. He will watch every single dart. He'll look at what he
83.
did right in certain scenarios, but importantly, what he needs to improve upon. And actually, we saw those improvements yesterday where at key times he stepped back when it came to the crucial finishes, when it came to the crucial points. Maybe he just has to do that a little bit more again this evening here.
It's not the fact he needs to step back.
43.
But that 180 there was utter perfection. Because the old Alex Small would have been throwing that third dart before the second has landed in the board.
91.
Almost frenzied. I can see what he's attempting to do. You don't want to dampen his style, his rhythm, his quick pace, but just that little bit of composure.
130. Alex car 170.
Well, this is all about rhythm and composure, a finish like that, but he's unable to net the big fish.
96. Russia car
That last dart
145.
keeps him very much in the mix. Well, it seems that was saying it too often. A 160 finish, a 145. Ross needs something. It's an excellent
105.
setup.
Alex car
But Small will
74.
expect the dart to go 3-0 up.
Tops are 3-0. And
Getting
Alex Small has
third
got a
leg.
double
Alex
break
Small.
and throw. He now has the darts to demolish the boss to nil and head
Fourth leg,
through to
Alex
the
is third
semi-finals with considerable ease.
What do we know about Alex Small? I mentioned the fact
Game
he
on.
represented his country as a boy. but I think his biggest, his nickname came because he was offered a wild card
57.
to go to the Champion of Champions event, similar to the old News of the World, best of 3, fast and furious, and to win that was something special. In my opinion, he hasn't kicked on from that day, but this is the best
140.
version of Alex Small I have seen on that stage.
And you could argue that he's a wild card bet tonight. He was 11-2 with the odds
60.
compilers before a dart was thrown. Adam Savada went off the 2-1 favourite with the bookies. If he could tidy up on his finishing, his scoring's there to be very competitive this evening.
Oh, he's been mega on the doubles this week, hasn't he?
100.
And that classic first dart merchant we talk about so much. It's great to see, because as you mentioned, he's always asking questions, isn't he? He's always watching his games back. He's always wanting to learn.
100.
Well, it's a little bit
95.
cagey on the
Ross
doubles in the
Ricardo,
first couple
61.
of legs, but Alex Small, little by little, is edging ever closer to the finishing line. Ross Montgomery may just get one shot to save this match. He's not going to find the 1-6-1. He is, though, going to leave it very handy. Double 12 after 12.
Double 68 with the match. What a performance, Alex Small. He was superb in the qualification. You can see how much it means to him. He topped Group C. Ross Montgomery is out. But Alex Small, you can see the relief there. He's a great young man. He's on the upward trajectory. He's been incredible this week. And you can see how much it means to him. Try and take the smile off his face. And a 109. He was nervous. He's shown that. But it was a real demolition job to... If you look at the stats, they're just 4 darts and a double for Ross Montgomery, but for Alex Small, round about that 90 average throughout. Again, his doubles are very impressive and finished with real aplomb with a 109. But we are back to that really exciting Group 1. Next up, it's Jack Tweddell against Gary Stone. Don't miss that one.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One
time, your new MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Luke Lidlow!
Welcome back to a dramatic night here at the MODUS Super Series Group 1, where it could be decided by a 9-dart shootout. More on that in a moment as Jack Tweddell's about to take on Gary Stone, but Adam Savada and Alex Small are both through from Group 2 and will play each other to see who tops that group, both beating Ross Montgomery convincingly. That group is pretty much signed and sealed, apart from who finishes in what position progressing to the semi-finals. But Group 1, well, this is going to be nail-biting for the two players on the stage, and maybe even Neil Meneer backstage as well. He's got a little bit of insurance. He can only go home by virtue of a 9-dart shootout, Meneer having won and lost a game 4-3, meaning if this one is 4-3 to Jack Tweddell, then all three players from the group will return to the stage, throw 9 darts each, and the highest 2 scores will go through. Tweddell needs to win this one 4-2 or better to qualify himself. Any win for Stone would get him through. Meneer would go with the winner in either of those scenarios. But 4-3 Tweddell is the scoreline that could get that dramatic 9-dart shootout. And it's very possible. Is it going to happen? Let's find out. Back to Glenn and Henry.
Well, I'm sure that none of the three players want that particular scenario. I think they would rather have the safety net and security of automatic qualification through to the last 4, but it's still very much a possibility which could rear its head. So Neil Meneer will qualify, as Chris mentioned, with any Gary Stone win or if Tweddell wins by 4-2 or better.
Game on.
As for Jack, well, it is as simple as he has to get the job done. It looked like a game at points he was in control of against Neil. With power scoring like that, and a crowd on his side like that. But it may have felt like one in the category of I might have let slip.
I was waiting for that magic bonus, trying to stay quiet there.
81.
But I think the one who's the most comfortable right now is the player in Group 1 who's not actually playing. Neil Meneer. The only
16.
way he can not get through is if it is 4-3 to Jack Tweddell. Any other result, and Neil Meneer is through.
96.
And he's got the, I say the safety blanket. It's not really the safest of blankets, the 9-dart shootout, but it's insurance
96.
policy nonetheless.
Derek 144.
Well, Gary Stone, who hasn't played for over an hour, started a little bit slowly here.
92.
Jack Tweddell with that incredible crowd behind him. There they are, throwing every dart with him. Not the start that Stone wanted. For a
59.
Positive,
Jack
it is just on the throw of Jack, so Gary Stone must remain patient.
But it's a quick start. It's a 14-darter for Jack Tweddell.
Second leg Gary to through first. Game on.
And I suppose the other question is, how many times would Jack have played in front of a crowd that's so vociferously on his side?
100.
How many times has he played in a pressure cooker environment where he's got that added pressure of people shouting for him?
85.
Yeah, we've talked an awful lot about that could be, the crowd could be his 4th dart. But let me tell you, when you've got your crowd on your side, it brings its own added pressures as well.
134.
I might be being a little bit selfish here, but we don't particularly want him to go out of the competition early because this
42.
crowd will be magnificent every time he's got on that stage.
We'll let you tell one of Gary or Neil if Jack makes
95.
it through, then whoever goes out.
Well, I'm not telling Neil the size of him, that's for sure. Ex-rugby and all that.
134.
Well, Stones responded well here in leg 2.
134.
14 darter from Tweddell to start, and Gary's left himself on a double after 12. It's awkward on double 19. It's a double nonetheless. And courtesy of that 140 turn, it's a double he might have to get.
Yeah, looks like he's looking straight down, so he's been aggressive with it. No thought of splitting it, that's the reason why.
Gary Stone.
1-1, and he silences that crowd.
Third leg jack to throw first. Game on.
Ironic that the Stone supporter here in Stone Island always getting the badge in. But is he going to be into the final 4 in a few moments' time?
60.
Jack Tweddell just has to do it on throwing this game, and by and large this week, when he's had the darts in his hand, he hasn't been broken too many times.
93. $95.
Yes, the players do go through it, but let me tell you, it's just as nervous for the family and friends. They're the ones that were throwing
95.
every down. There's Kelly there. She looks pensive. She looks nervous.
134.
It's also her birthday today, and that's one of Gary's big inspirations for tonight.
85.
It could be sealed with a kiss if Gary was able to win on his partner's special day.
60. Jack Lucar, 88.
Well, it could be over very quickly.
Treble 17 for double 18. Outstanding.
Game for the third round.
Absolutely beautiful, this Group 1. It's proven to be a very memorable, and you can see Gary just looking over there. That's when the friends and family can play that part. It's still on throw. But can you smell a 4-3?
58.
Can you smell a 4-3?
Well, I can smell many things in this commentary box, Glenn.
49.
How was your Palmer earlier?
97.
Don't get that in Portsmouth. I did see Ross Montgomery trying to see the sights of Portsmouth. I passed him in my car, doing a little walk, but
58.
We say farewell to Ross Montgomery. Scotland's only hope is that man in your picture now, Gary Stone.
95.
Man made a Scottish grip, but he doesn't want this to be another nearly experience
94.
for him. Closest he's ever got is a final, where he took Neil Dove to the last leg, but was unable to cross the line. But that Max there leaves himself on a 2-darter after 12 to level up at 2-2, and then tap Tweddell on the shoulder.
60. Gary O'Carr, 71.
Yes, the averages are beginning to ramp up. He looked a little bit nervous, Gary Stone. A little look over at the family before this leg started. It seems to have worked.
Kelly cannot watch.
Fifth leg jack to throw first. Game on.
She daren't look.
Well, if it does stick on throw.
100.
You know where I'm going with this one, don't you?
95.
If this goes 4-3, Glenn, you can commentate on the 9-dart shootout.
Well, I feel like I'm doing it all on my own tonight anyway, so why change it with that?
Keegan's downstairs.
81.
We can always sub out if you want.
I think Keegan Brown's having a fantastic time. I wouldn't mind being in that audience tonight myself. They're playing their part. I've seen some great darts.
94.
Lots of drama coming from this Group 1. Group 2, remember, is now done and dusted. We know the two qualifiers in Adam Savada and Alex Small.
97.
Still none the wiser in this Group 1.
6-1-6-7 to put himself on the hill.
102. 43. Joker 65.
Is this another one of these chastening experiences for Gary Stone? He watches on in the background. He smiled because he expected that to go. It duly does. It's 3-2 Tweddell. It's a 14 darter. And he's a leg away now if he can win this leg from the semi-finals.
57.
Gary Stone punched the air when he hit that double 4 to see off Neil Meneer. Almost like he thought the job had been done. He has to win this leg or Gary Stone is eliminated. And now he's seen his opponent finding a 2-treble visit. Nervy moments, Henry, for Gary Stone.
And if he wins this leg, Gary, by contrast, he gets 2 points at it because even if he loses in the last leg, he's got the guaranteed minimum for 9-dart shootout. But he has to find a treble. He doesn't do so. And it's now all in the hands of Jack Tweddell from this point onwards. He's taken the throw of Gary Stone and now should from this point onwards get an opportunity to win the match from here.
Absolute scenes here. The Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Jack Tweddell knew what he had to do. And Gary Stone looks a beaten man. Jack Tweddell has put his foot on the pedal. Jack Tweddell, what a victory. Gary Stone is out. Listen to that crowd. Jack Tweddell, he said this crowd could be his 4th dart. He has been superb tonight. Despite the fact Gary Stone won in his opening game against Neil Meneer, the Super Scot joins his teammate Ross Montgomery by leaving the competition at the round robin stage. Look at those numbers. Let's wax lyrical over them. First 100 plus average of the night, 101.24. The doubles were so kind to him, 4 from 5, and that's sublime 100 to win it. You have to feel the Gary Stone, but Jack Tweddell deserves all the credit in the world. As we move on to our final game of Group 2, it's Alex Small against Adam Savada.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yeah.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
What a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receiving the trophy, £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
time, your new MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series live on Pluto TV, where it's Tweddell and Meneer going through in Group 1. Stone sunk after a really dramatic group, all of them winning one game. Stone missing out by one leg in the end. That 4-2 win was a result that Jack Tweddell needed, 101 average as well. And now attention turns to a much more serene Group 2, because both of these players eased past Ross Montgomery. 4-1, Adam Savada beat the Scotsman. 4-0 to Alex Small when he took on Montgomery. And now they will fight it out to see who will top the table and take on Neil Meneer in the second semi-final. And that could be really important, because Jack Tweddell has got plenty of support, as we saw before the break there. Henry and Glenn will talk you through the final group game.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris. Well, from the drama of what we've seen before, we now have a game which is just about settling for position. It is the calm before the final four storm, and we know that this pair are already going to be there. We're just dotting I's and crossing T's at this present moment in time. What a dramatic time we've had of it today.
Yes, that Group 1 will definitely live in the memory. You have to feel for Gary
60.
Stone, you have to feel for Ross Montgomery, but two players had to go. But my mind goes back to Gary Stone. That dart with double four for Neil Meneer. Did he think he was through at that point? That's why we have that three-man round robin to create our semi-finals. We know who the semi-finalists are from both groups. We just need to determine
99.
Who plays who.
Yep, the winner of this game will play in the second semi-final. There's usually a saying in sport, isn't it? Winner stays on. Well, in this particular case, it's loser stays on. They'll have to play the first semi-final in around about 20-30 minutes time.
Yeah, we've seen a situation.
140. I think
you thought that was a 180. We've seen a situation similar to this, Henry, where we've seen players just take the foot off the gas and go into the semi-final, all guns blazing. You don't sense it with these two. You get the sense that they want to keep the momentum of winning games going.
Well, for Adam, I just think he takes every game like any other match. Whether there's connotations or not, whether it's a round robin or a straight knockout, every single game just feels the same for him. As for Alex Small, that double tennis foul to take out the opening leg. And maybe it could be a wild card again here this evening. Was talked under the radar, 11-2 with the Oscar pilots before a dart was thrown. May not be playing the darts as making everybody stand up and take notice, but he could well be playing handily enough to cause whoever he's facing a lot of problems.
Yes, that 101 average from Tweddell has made him a bit of a favourite tonight. He was my player who I felt was value. And the loser of this game, as Henry alluded to, will play Jack next. Maybe that's the motivation to win this one. The winner of this game, they'll follow that match against the real tough nut. That is Neil Meneer. And just a reminder, Alex Small topped that Group C with Neil Meneer runner-up. Will it be a repeat of that game?
And Alex Small really did sneak up on Neil Meneer to win that particular group as well. Neil was the dominant force for so long. But it feels like this man just times his runs when he needs to. He hit his straps at a crucial time in Group C, and he's hitting his straps on this Saturday night. And Maxi there Leads
98.
himself on 140 and leaves himself in a potential position to break. He's not going to take out the finish. And so
100.
Sada is going to come
Alukar,
back.
68.
May just be one dart in his hand to level up at one apiece.
Normally so solid. Double 16s is favoured double.
36.
Chance for small.
Alukar, 40.
For 2-0 and crucially the break. But he's had a couple of darts like that, but this was how he qualified yesterday.
Shot on the
Through
second
that
leg, Alex Moore.
exact same combination.
Yeah, I think he's just realised that.
Third
Correct
leg,
me if I'm
Alex
wrong,
is
Henry.
first.
I think he
Game
hit
on.
the same spot in the double 16 as he did to get that qualification, but has he pleasantly surprised you as he looks for his 20th 180 of the week?
140.
Well, we know he has this level. It was just when he can unlock it. But I suppose there's also a part of Alex Small here that's thinking, don't burn up all my good cards now, because he is going to need them a little bit later on tonight. But both players running red hot. That's Alex's second 180 of the game. He's averaging in excess of 110. Sada here is averaging 109, and he is not getting a look in.
57.
Well, we mentioned the fact that's Alex Small's 20th 180. Well, Savada can look at that shirt of Alex Small, say, I'll rage and go all in, because that was his 42nd. 42 180s in a week, Henry.
Staggering. Alex Small on for potential 11 darter to move 3-0 to the good. He hasn't dropped a leg tonight.
23.
That run could come to an end before too long.
24.
But Savada has to find a treble here. Isn't going to do so. Small comes back, double 9.
44, thank you. Alukar, 18.
For a 3-0 lead. He was
Game shot
averaging
of the third leg,
112
Alex
at one point. Currently a mere 104.86 on the back. And that 101 average from Jack Tweddell. Both can see the funny side as they go for each other's water, but look at those numbers. Proper game of darts.
100.
There's the final group stage match. There will be an
134.
interval following the end of this particular contest, and then after that, the semi-finals will get underway.
Yes, that's what that 106 average it is now. Equates to 15 darts.
100.
And then that beautiful 13 darter to boot.
60.
There is a divine irony here, because Adam Savada is playing very well, but if he loses this game, he comes straight back on stage. But he'll feel like if he could play like this in a few moments' time, he'd have every chance of winning the semi-final, even though he may lose this match. That's how strange this contest has been.
Yeah, maybe just a gentle reminder that the job's not done yet.
97.
Four fantastic
Alukar,
players
121.
in the semi-finals. And Adam Savada wants that title very badly. Double 18, is it? It was in that second dart. Yes, that's such a flat dart there. He had to double check himself, and maybe that was just a little bit off-putting as he went for the double 18. What a response.
That treble is weeping right now. And it has left Alec on a double to win. And he's going to get a go at the double 15.
10.
He could complete the group
30.
stages here, Alex Small, with a completely unblemished record. He beat Ross Montgomery by 4 legs to 0. And he's done exactly the same to Adam Savada. Alex Small, the wild card, is playing all the right cards right now. 8 legs played, 8 legs won. Nobody can touch him at this present moment in time. Into the semi-finals with relative ease, with a blockbuster performance. If Jack Tweddell's 101.24 was a marker laid, well, Alex Small has raised it. 107.36, 50% on his doubles. Is he the man to take home the first title of the first series of the new calendar year? Alex Small 4, Adam Savada 0 in the game of the night, the week, the year so far. And that concludes the group stage action. Now we're going to take a short break here on Pluto TV. The semi-finals will begin in a few moments' time. But after this short interval, you'll hear the thoughts of Glenn Durran in the studio alongside Chris Murphy. So do join us in a few moments' time. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
Time, your new MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where the semi-finals are now set, and we saw some incredible performances in the last couple of group games. This place really has just started to get excited about what they're seeing.
They've been a brilliant audience tonight. We said maybe it could be the fourth dart for Jack Tweddell, but to be fair, they've been brilliant in between the games, but I think Jack's feeding off that superb.
Yeah, let's have a look at the results from this evening. As you can see, Group 1, well, it was really close, wasn't it? Gary Stone got off to a winning start against Neil Meneer. He then bounced back by beating Tweddell, but that 4-2 win against Gary Stone's what got Tweddell over the line. And you have to say, Glenn, another bitter disappointment for Stone.
Yeah, how many times can he deal with it? Because he'll be bitterly disappointed, because his reaction when he won that match with Neil Meneer, which was tight, I think he thought he'd done enough at that point. And I think the realisation of 2-2 kicked in, especially when Jack started to put the afterburners on as well. And Yeah, you see him struggling as he sort of went off there. Not a night for Scotland.
Yeah, Group 2 was a lot more simple. We'll talk about that in a moment. But let's start with the players going through from Group 1. Jack Tweddell, he's got a lot of support here, as you can see from Swindon Youth Darts, and he gave them a show, didn't he?
There was a moment when he hit the first 180 of the night, and it was just incredible. I mean, the noise that he did. But that 100 finish there as well, that took him over the 101 average. That's what it means to him. He's got a great story. And what a way it would be for him tonight to be our first winner in Series 10.
The backing of this crowd, how big is that, and how big could it be for the rest of the night?
Yeah, I mean, there's strengths and weaknesses to it. Let me tell you, I've had it where I've had a great crowd behind us. That creates its own pressures sometimes. I think he's handled it very, very well. But like I say, it's the best of order when they're playing. But he knows. I think he was visually taken back with the 180. I think it sort of took him 9 darts to get over that. But they are playing their part.
Neil Meneer himself seemed to be feeding off it as well, didn't he? He enjoyed it.
I think he's got support in here as well, and sometimes it's just that you need that one voice. He is so good at this type of finish. Look at the score, look what Jack's on. So basically you're going to get 1 dart at double top, and all week he's been absolutely splendid when it comes to that. Throws that flat dart. Didn't see him react much like that. A bit of laughter behind us from his friends and family, because you don't see that much from Neil. Good on him.
It brings something out in players, doesn't it, just playing in front of an audience? I know it's not the biggest venue here, but it's a packed house, and it just really does get the adrenaline going.
It has a feel of a county venue, and he's one of the best county players, in the UK. I mean, he's represented his country, England, and I think that's the way he's treating this match. Now it's knockout as well. I think that the best of Neil Meneer is still to come.
Well, if that performance from Jack Tweddell got them going, what about the display we've just seen from Alex Small? That was sensational, wasn't it?
Exceeded expectations, is what I said before a dart was thrown tonight. I keep waiting for him not to sort of play so well, because he has been susceptible to a poor performance. Look at the reaction, look at the finishing. His finishing has been brilliant all week, and he's a good guy. He's electric. But he's been more measured, the most measured I've ever seen him. He's showcasing his more composure as well. He's looking good.
Hasn't dropped a leg. I mean, the other players must be fearing playing him now, right?
When it gets to the semi-finals, you really are focused on your own game, to be fair. But he has been the highlight. But, you don't win the competition in the round robin. You've got to sustain that. Has he thrown his best darts already? All them things are going through your mind. Fascinating semi-finals coming up.
What have you made of Adam Savada tonight?
Done enough. That favourite tag might be hanging on to him. He's on debut here, so maybe getting used to the crowd. But like I said, he's solid. He doesn't give an awful lot away. Like I said, he's got the all-round game. He'll probably go into the semi-final, still the favourite to win it. And maybe the realisation's there now that, hey, these other players are really, really good. I better find my A game.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the semi-final lineup then. Here are the fixtures. Jack Tweddell is going to take on Adam Savada. That's going to be a tough task for the American. Then Alex Small against Neil Meneer. So let's start with the first one. We've got that brilliant performance from Tweddell. We've got the backing of the audience, but Savada over the course of the week has probably been the better player.
Yeah, 6 times now they'll have played each other with this semi-final there, so it's a meeting. They'll know each other's games very well, but the first time with a crowd, first time being a semi-final, so you wipe the slate clean. You're looking to produce your best darts right now. 2 great players. There could be fireworks in that one.
And the second one, Alex Small against Neil Meneer. I mean, if Alec plays like he has been playing, then it's going to be really tough for Neil. What does he need to do to first be the first to get a leg off him, but ultimately get the win?
Alex Small had 1 bad game this week. He was demolished by Neil Meneer on Thursday. He backed it up yesterday. What performance are we going to get from Alex Small? Because one sort of added thing to it is the fact that he's a little bit more methodical, Meneer. He doesn't really show that a great deal. So the pace may not suit Alex Small as much. So it could be another titanic battle. But Meneer, he's just got that bit between his teeth right now. A clash of styles will be an interesting one.
Who are you expecting to see playing in that final after these 2 matches?
Do you know, I'm going to go up with Jack Tweddell versus Neil Meneer. And it's probably what other people don't think. I mean, I'm eliminating the favourite and eliminating the best player of the night so far.
And what would it mean for any of these players tonight to win it? It's all players that are really in sort of unfamiliar territory. We've seen Alex Small go this far before, but to win a MODUS Super Series event, to get through to Champions Week, it's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, the financial aspect is great. I don't think that's the priority for all of them at the moment. Just that kudos of being the first player through. And then for the next sort of 12 weeks, you've got that excitement knowing you're going to be in Champions Week as well. So it'll be a great start to 2025 as people look to bigger and better things. So much on the line, and I think the crowd can't wait.
Well, I just want a word actually on the atmosphere as well, because we've spoken about Swindon Youth Darts being here tonight. What Luke Littler did on this stage and what he's done since really has got so many young people interested in this game. And what an evening they've had, and what an example this is of the popularity of darts with youngsters.
And it's not just Swindon as well, Chris. Everywhere I'm going, it's like, you know, they can't get enough places in the clubs, and it's been called the Luke Littler effect as well. It was great to see 6 players on this stage as well. I have a funny feeling one of those 6 players in 5 or 6 years' time might have been inspired by a Jack Tweddell tonight. So they'll be playing on here as well, because what the MODUS Super Series want to do is inspire the next generation of players coming through. So that would be a great story in itself. They've been magnificent, the best atmosphere I've known here.
Yeah, well, they don't want us on this stage, they want the players back on the stage, so we better get out of the way. The semi-finals are about to get started.
Looks a beaten man. Jack Tweddell has put his foot on the pedal. Jack Tweddell, what a victory. Gary Stone is out. He was favourite going into the night, and that's the reason why Adam Sada had his highs and lows early in that match, a few little nerves, but he found the afterburners, he found his real strength there.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the MODUS Live Lounge here in Portsmouth for the MODUS Super Series, Series 10, Week 1, live on Pluto TV. We now get round to our first semi-final of the evening. Please welcome on stage, Jack Tweddell and the Reaper, Adam Sada!
Well, what an atmosphere and what a match in prospect here between Jack Tweddell and Adam Sada. The man from Swindon, one of 51 people from Swindon in the arena this evening. Jack Tweddell taking on a player who's crossed the Atlantic from the USA to come and play at the Live Lounge and try and book his place at Champions Week on debut. Tweddell has been to finals night once before. He's been to the final once before, but couldn't cross the line on that occasion. But a 6th meeting against Sada this week awaits him, and this would probably be one of the greatest nights of his career if he were to thrill that audience and take the trophy back to Swindon. The 29-year-old was runner-up in week 3 of the last series in 2024. Adam Sada, 10 years older, from Parker, Arizona. On debut, can the Reaper reign tonight? The first semi-final then about to get underway. No prizes for guessing who they are supporting, but either way, we're expecting this to be a really, really good darting duel. Guiding you through every single arrow thrown, it's back to Glenn Durrant alongside Henry Deacon.
Thank you, Chris. And so 6 have been whittled down to 4. A big game atmosphere greets both Jack Tweddell and Adam Sada as they take to the hockey. Glenn, you've played at the Lakeside many, many years
100.
and won at the Lakeside 3 times in an illustrious career. And as the 2 players walked onto the stage and they threw their first practice darts, it reminded me of some of the real classic nights in those buildings.
Yeah, intimate building, great crowd, knowledgeable. Players now playing their best darts as well. There's a definite similarity to the feeling when I was on the stage there, where you can just touch that first player in the crowd on the head there. But as a dart player, the only thing you should be seeing now is the board, is the target area. If you're looking around the surroundings and thinking this is great, the game can be gone before you know it. So it's really important to find the zone that, well, certainly that Jack Tweddell found in his last round-robin game, because he was incredible.
Well, both players averaged 101 in their last match. One won 4 legs and won a match.
140.
The other player only got 4 darts and a double and couldn't find one of them in Jack Savada's case. He was brushed aside by the brilliant Alex Small around about 20 minutes ago.
60.
But he's managed to brush that aside and has got off to the quickest start of the pair. And maybe the star man they came to see could find himself on the back foot in this semi-final, because it's the American with 6 darts and 164 to take the opening leg. Hasn't made the inroads he would have liked. It's just opened up the door here for Tweddell somewhat. He's going to come back
60.
for this 104.
Yeah, 92 points left, so treble 20 will be the aim. He'll hope to be back. He'll go at the 16s, and that's
80.
a beautiful last dart. That's it to Jack Tweddell.
138.
On throw. This 138 must go. Great start by the American. Can he see the first leg out?
87.
It's a good start, but can he convert it? Yes, there's the convincing answer. It's a 16 darter, but most importantly for Adam Zavada, it's a break of throw. He leads 1-0. And listen to how deathly quiet the Reapers made that crowd. And the Reaper could make him weep if he wins this match.
100.
Yeah, this is going to test the mettle of Jack Tweddell on the back of that beautiful win.
45.
Against Gary Stone. He'll be in bits in the players area, will Gary, knowing him. But we talked about the fact that Savada had to come back after that defeat to Alex Small. How would he respond?
100.
Well, I think breaking the throw of Jack Tweddell in the first leg. And 140 points ahead already. Delete
140.
that.
Well, Adam Savada's got object 1 completed, but what he doesn't want to do is give away the throw which he needed to break at some point in this contest. Good recovery after a slack first start. Forces Tweddell to hit a couple himself.
100.
Unable to do so. Savada 6 from here for 2-0.
Yeah, he's pulled that face a couple of times because it's almost like the perfect dart for him for Jack. Savada looking good if he can just use those 2 darts and almost
60.
lob it over. Another one of them.
100.
Is that enough?
116.
It's the first attempt for Savada on the 116. He decides to start in the 19s. Maybe not the right decision. Jack Tweddell will be preparing himself for the same finish at 116, and this could change the game, early does.
76.
He may have to take it, otherwise he could find himself a couple of legs down. Needs to find the treble here. Unable to do so. Savada back for top 56. To double his lead.
40.
You don't feel like Savada's going to miss doubles. He's so solid. Look at the eyes. Look at the focus. That's quite a flat dart, so that's not as easy. But he uses it as a guide. Pierces that double top. The American does sound that crowd. He looks at them to say, come on then, bring it on.
In other sporting contexts, they say silence the crowd when you're playing away from home. That's exactly what Adam Savada has done here. But what he doesn't want to do is allow Jack Tweddell to get interested in this game. Now he's got a cushion. Now he's got comfortability. He wants to bolt the door shut.
It is only one breaker throw. That's the one thing for Jack. You don't always think when you're up there. You just get the sense that they're just seeing that treble 20 and it's almost like you don't even know what's going on, what the scoreline is. Your mind can go a mush, and the great players can deal with the situations very nicely. Crowder enthralled.
$60.
Still in charge of his leg, despite that treble-less turn.
$100. Jaruka 170.
To reduce the gap back down to 2-1.
105.
He leaves himself in a really handy position. 65 after 12. Just to get himself on the board.
But a big score here. because you don't particularly want to go up with the bullseye on the 65.
140.
Of course, you're aiming
Jericho
for the green bit, the
65.
25. But he's got away with it.
He's shown
Absolutely
the
brilliant.
Tweddell.
Plump to deal with the situation when you're 2-0
4
down.
through first.
Smiles all round. Savada's enjoying
Game
it.
on.
He's soaking in every single part of this experience, is Adam Savada. But he may be beginning to constrict his opponent in this semi-final. Tweddell has brought it back to 2-1 to ask the question.
100.
And just when the man from Swindon just gets a little bit closer to the man from Arizona, it's the guy from the United States that just begins to give himself a little bit more daylight
91.
in this contest.
Yes, Swindon Darts of you have been magnificent tonight. Can you drag this man over the winning line?
140.
He's given absolutely everything, isn't he?
You get the sense this is a telling exchange. Savada on 230, Tweddell on 261.
100.
What a wonderful addition he's been to the MODUS Super Series, Adam Savada, whatever happens. Hope he's here for many series to come.
91. Out of the car, 130.
Leaves himself on a finish. It's little fish first, and if it's not found, it's big fish next. Great guy for the treble. Cannot use it. Tweddell's going to get a go at the 170.
94.
Brace
Out of the car,
yourself in.
170.
There is a storm alert.
But the warning
94.
subsided
Out of the car,
in the big
36.
fish department, but the alarm bells may be ringing around in the ears of Jack Tweddell. Savada
on the
finds
fourth
double
leg.
18.
Adam
It's a
Savada.
13 darter, and it's the man from Arizona in the United States
Jack to
who is a
reverse.
leg away
Game on.
now from a place in the final on his debut, and to stop Jack Tweddell and the hordes of fans that have come to see him
95.
tonight from having their party in Pompey.
He just doesn't give it large. He keeps his emotions in check. Just add that to the collection of 180s. A monster amount. He can score big.
96.
But every time he has that double, his opponent sat behind him. We're going to test his metal. And again, this time it was the double 18. He's a special player, Henry.
140.
And once again, he's dragged his average in excess of a ton. It's 102.33. Jack Tweddell himself averaging just
85.
under 93. But it's always felt like he's been just that little bit behind his opponent, who now has 6 darts from 181 to get the job done. Tweddell had an opening in the middle of the
57.
match, but he never had anything tangible to level. And now Savada has a chance to win the game here.
Yeah, needed a maximum, I felt. Another treble needed. Another treble. He's got bottle. He's got fight. But Savada, first down to a finish.
Treble 18 to give himself a dart at the bull. It's not going to get it. Tweddell's got a chance to save it.
56.
But this might be the only chance he gets to save it.
Treble 15's a dart. What a dart.
65.
And so Savada
68.
gets his opportunity to make it through to the final. Only one American player has ever won in this building. And if Savada can find double 16, he has the chance to join Danny Lelby in the Super Series Winners Club from the United States of America. It's the man from Arizona that beats the man from Swindon to claim his place into the final. What a performance from Adam Savada. He is providing the goods when it comes to the boil. An average of 97.15, 4 from 5 when it came to the doubles. For Jack Tweddell, it's another spirited performance this week, but it ends in the final 4. Savada runs out a 4-1 winner. Coming up after the break, it is Alex Small up against Neil Meneer. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series
9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Levanauskas!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
One more time, your new MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. Just 2 more matches to play on the first week of Series 10. One finalist is confirmed. Adam Sada beating Jack Tweddell 4-1. Great performance from Sada in that one. And Alex Small and Neil Meneer will contest the second semi-final. Small, who hasn't dropped a leg all night. 4-0 in each of his victories so far. Meneer getting through in that really closely fought Group 1. They did play in Group C earlier in the week, and well, Meneer did get a decent victory against Alex Small, but ultimately he won the war between them and topped the table. So without further ado, let's get the second semi-final started.
He beat Ross Montgomery by 4-0. And he's done exactly the same to Adam Sada. Alex Small, the wild card, is playing all the right cards right now.
Usually that means one thing. It's going to be one dart at tops if you can hit the big 18. All down to this dart. What a play. What a finish. What an incredible conclusion.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, to the MODUS Live Lounge here in Portsmouth for the MODUS Super Series, Series 10, Week 1, live on Pluto TV. We now get round to our second semi-final of the evening. First of all, please welcome to the stage the wildcard, Alex Small. And his opponent is Diesel Neil Meneer.
am number one, not number two. If I'm not the one, I'm uncomfortable. See the competition I've been running through. Leveled up, I only see him in my rear view. Yeah, I'm ballin'. Yeah, I'm ballin'.
Well, Alex Small in business-like mood, isn't he? Could not wait to get on the stage, leaving Neil Meneer waiting at the back of the walk-on. He's determined to enjoy every moment of this evening, though, Meneer. A real opportunity for him to make a name for himself after all these years in front of the TV cameras here at the Super Series. Alex Small, look at that, nodding away. He thinks tonight could belong to him, and why wouldn't he? He's got through both of his group games without the loss of a leg, the 26-year-old, back at the weekly finals once again. Neil Meneer, 42 years of age from Cornwall, looking to go one further and reach the final and play for that £5,000 top prize against Adam Savada of the USA, and of course a place at Champions Week. I said Small had won both his games tonight 4-0, but Neil Meneer beat him 4-0 when the pair met on Thursday, though Small did get his revenge on Friday and went on to top the Group C table, which both progressed from. Under the lights then at the Live Lounge, a second semi-final will be narrated by Glenn and Henry.
Game on.
Thank you, Chris. Well, the church choir's favourite son has departed, but who is going to join Adam Savada in the final? Alex Small and Neil Meneer go toe-to-toe for the right to face the man from Parker in Arizona in the big match and for the £5,000 top prize. For Alex Small, he's had the opportunity to play in a final before. He lost to Adam Warner in the last final of 2022, whilst this is completely uncharted territory for Neil Meneer. Only his second appearance here. He went out in the group stages last time in a Group C which featured the likes of Ollie Holtkamp, Jimmy Van Schie, Bradley Brooks, John O'Shea and Steve Hine.
100.
Not a bad Group C though, to be fair. But player of the night has been this man. And let me tell you,
99.
There's an awful lot of people in the National Club in Wattsville watching Alex Small. It's been the ADC finals there today, and a lot of them have stayed back to watch him, sending me messages of how proud they are of how he's been playing tonight. That 107 average in his final game. This was a Group C match, as Chris mentioned. It was also alongside
45.
Scott Taylor, a previous series winner. He departed. These two come through. So no surprise to us that this is now a semi-final clash. And no surprise once again, Alex Small has started quickly.
140. Alex 129.
On throw. He'll start in the 19s. So 72 points left. He went for the double-double.
89. Neil Lucar 119.
You feel like Meneer may have to take gilt-edged chances like this. He might be outscored to a large tune in this match, but he is going to give himself an opportunity here. The bullseye for the opening leg doesn't go.
86.
It's almost like he knew what he wanted if he hit the single 19, but didn't have a strategy in place if he hit the treble. Beautiful. Small continues to impress. 9 legs on the spin on a finals night.
Second leg, Neil is first. Game on.
He's having the week of his life right now.
Small
60.
one up. Meneer, you feel like he's going to be chasing around in the background when you consider how this man has been scoring this evening.
140.
Yes, his shirt tells you everything. He has all the aces in the pack right now. He just looks calm. We've known about his game. We've
81.
known about his pedigree. We've been sort of waiting for this type of Alex Small to come through. He's finding that treble 20 so easily. It's measured, it's big, and it's very, very good.
Small is rising his game. Raising his game. And maybe this could be the night for Alex Small, where we see a player that's been around the periphery for so long actually launch himself, vault
41.
himself into the big leagues.
Yeah, but he has to stay patient. He has to stay focused, because we've said Neil Meneer at times can look out of games, and then you turn in and he's right behind you again.
60.
And that's set up play from both. They won't be happy with. How many times have we seen this 140 attempted tonight? Just needs to be careful not to bust.
120. Neil the car, 160.
Just getting better and better.
And again, the chance Meneer gets is at a big finish. He's unable to take out the 160. And so Small, who remember hasn't dropped a leg tonight, this
39.
would be for leg 10 in succession if he can find double 10.
15. Neil the car, 121.
He really pushed that first dart, just couldn't use it. Now he has real problems. However, he will be back. Neil Meneer is so adept at just hitting 45. You hard. You don't want to give him opportunities. One dart at a time, this big one. Now you can stand back. Now you can focus. It's Madhouse for 2-0.
No score. Neil the car, 76.
Well, the numbers are getting smaller for Meneer, and the chances are getting bigger as a consequence. And he is going to get a dart here, just like he did in leg 1. But this time it's at a double as opposed to the ball, and it's his favourite double top he finds. It's the first leg that Alex Small has conceded all evening, and this second semi-final's all square. Small 1, Meneer 1.
Yes, if Alec doesn't get through this match, that was the moment for me.
58.
That double 10, and then he just brushed inside to go into the big 10. Then it can get a little bit nervous, and you did the cardinal sin of it in the big 5. Neil Meneer, how many times this week has he hit double top with his last dart and a combination finish? And that's when you know, he'll know that when he's getting them chances. And then when you get that dart at tops, it's almost like you know you can't
99.
miss it.
And it's also told Alex Small that if you're going to spurn opportunities and you're going to pass chances by, I am going to pick your pocket. He's not just going to be allowed to get away with multiple misses.
60.
And suddenly this game could have a complete and utter tide turn here, because Alec was in control for the first couple of legs, but now Meneer's taken the darts in leg 3.
But it's not for the first time this week. He is so cute. He is so clever. He's battle hardened. And as I've said many times, when it gets to that mid-match, when it's 1-1, when it's 2-2, he often comes out on top. Things are going well for the Cornish man.
Ian himself at 81 after 9 darts, on for a potential 12 darter. What a time to find a dozen dart leg. Meneer gets the breaker Small, and suddenly this semi-final has a completely different complexion.
And remember the story. There's a Neil Meneer in every town and city. A player who can... He can play and beat anybody, but he decides not 45. To do the circuit, not to do the travelling. He loves his beloved county darts, but now the MODUS Super Series is giving him an opportunity. And he's taking it with both hands. But Alex Small, just a little reminder, I'm still here.
$60.
Fascinating duel, a clash of styles.
It's a game of ebbs and flows at this present
100.
moment in time. Just when you feel like the game's going to move in one direction, does it drift into another?
$60.
It's almost like the scoring power of Alex Small
137
against the finishing prowess of Neil Meneer.
Well, both players are showing their best stuff when they're against the throw in this match. It was a 12-darter from Meneer against the darts in the previous leg. Alex Small has the opportunity to do exactly the same to level up at 2-2 if he can find double 8. And it's just a whisker inside.
Yeah, 1 from 8 on the outer ring for Alex Small. Do you remember at the beginning of the show, we talked about the fact that all week is 45%. Are the doubles beginning 60. To desert him?
Alex can't 8.
Or can he find this double 4 for parity? Yes, he can. 2-2.
Alex Small.
quality encounter. An exchange of blows between this pair.
Through first. Game on.
2 apiece between Small and Meneer. Remember, Alex had the opportunity to lead this game by 2-0. He's seen his opponent from Cornwall continually drag him back, but with every single twist and turn, he comes out swinging and punching, and he punches in his third max of the match.
43.
Yeah, 4 in total between the pair of them. All of a sudden, it's Small that's got the bit between his teeth.
140.
Everybody in this building held their collective breath. I think there was an expectation the second max was going to follow.
He just seems to be in that zone.
58.
It's a zone a dart player dreams of. I've seen so many times when he throws that first act, it's almost just fling the next two.
23.
He needs to realise that that's the rhythm that's going to drive him forward. And once again, after 9 darts, a potential 11 darter.
Well, rhythm is a
100.
darter. Alex Small
58.
may be finding the answer. But he's missed a big number. He only gets 1 at tops. He
Yeah,
only
he's on the
needed
fifth
1 at
leg.
tops.
Small.
It's another 12 darter. The last 3 legs was a 12 darter
Six
from
leg
Meneer,
through
a
first.
13 from
Game
Small,
on.
a 12 from Small. And that man there, the wild card, is a leg away from his second Super Series final.
97.
He lost to Adam Warner in a last leg decider a couple of years ago. He hadn't made it through to finals night in his previous 3 appearances.
78.
Had Alex Small, but he could be a leg away from returning to the biggest match of the week, the money match, the game that matters, and the game that opens the gateways.
100.
Yeah, this is where you can see the winning line in front of you. This is where you just want to dip to the line. There's an
45.
awful lot of work still to go because that's a disappointing start for Alex Small. Scores a 78 and 45. Won't cut it against this man at the moment.
58.
However, trebleless from Meneer. 180 required. 180 not got. Are we going the distance?
44.
Flip the coin the other way. How many times has Neil Meneer in a county career been in this position? 3-2 down, needing to find a couple of legs to save his skin.
81.
The environment isn't too different. The format isn't too different. There's a lot of familiarities apart from the fact this time he's playing for himself.
40.
Now, mind for Alex Small right now, he'll be thinking, at least I'm throwing my bad darts away now. He knows he's got a second opportunity with the darts
85.
if it goes the distance. It's looking like it's going the distance.
It felt like a game that was destined to go 3 each, if the truth be told.
134.
Alec has
Neil the cut
left
80.
himself interested if Meneer cannot mop up the 80. It's trusty tops.
60.
But it doesn't come
Alec
to his
Carr,
aid there.
160.
He's been brilliant this week as Alex Small. Dynamic, exciting. Going to leave it pretty. He's saying to Neil Meneer, yes, I know you're experienced. I know you hit your doubles. But under this pressure, can you do it? Because the nerves are going through the body right now. And he knows double 5 is tricky. The experience. He stands back. He looks at that double 5. Alex Small can't look. Huge dart.
10.
Huge miss.
Alec Carr, 32.
And it presents Alex Small with an opportunity now to head through to the final again. He's waited a couple of years for a moment like this. And Alex Small is into his second Super Series final 2 years after his first. It was the legendary night of Adam Warner when the wild card came up short first time around. But a couple of years on, he's got his opportunity to banish those demons. With exhilarating, quick-paced but accurate darts, he is into the big money match. And this is how he did it. It wasn't quite the scintillating 107 that he provided against Sada, but it was enough against Neil Meneer to progress 4-2. And it is that meeting in Game 6 of the night which yielded a couple of ton-plus averages, which gives us our final. For Neil, it was oh so Meneer, yet so far, but it is Sada and Small that will play the jackpot match in a few moments' time. But after the break, studio analysis from Glenn Durrant and Chris Murphy.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
So then the final is set and it's going to get underway in around 15-20 minutes time. Myself and Glenn Durrant first are going to reflect on what's been a really exciting evening. Glenn, remarkable evening of action. Group 1 was down to the wire, wasn't it? And then Group 2 was a bit more comfortable, but the most comfortable player all night has been Alex Small, and probably a deserving finalist.
Yeah, he's been a comfortable player for the whole week. I thought Group 1 was absolutely brilliant. I mean, when Gary Stone hit that winning double against Neil Meneer in the opening game, I think he felt he was going to be through to the semi-finals. And then you just sort of seen him wilt against Jack Tweddell. It was amazing. That crowd played their part in an incredible one. Yeah, it was a Group 1 to remember.
Yeah, and then Alex Small, he beat Adam Savada 4-0. They're going to play in the final. We spoke about it before the semis that they could end up playing again, and that scoreline could easily be turned round.
Definitely. But I didn't sense that match was like both of them were turning, off the gas type thing. I think the accelerator was on for the pair of them. I just think Alex Small played terrific in that match, and a very early opportunity for Savada was super impressive to silence that crowd. It was fever pitch down there as well. He handled it so well. He's been a very, very impressive individual tonight, and to get to the final is going to be a cracker.
Yeah, a bit of drama at the end of that
semi-final there. Jack Tweddell had the opportunity in that game there just to stay in the match. Great dart at the treble 15, but couldn't take out tops or tens. And then Sada steps forward and does the job.
Yeah, he's been so clever as well, Jack, with them sort of 2-dart combinations when he's hit the treble 15. The tops have been flying in all week. I think he whispered over there that could be the end of it. But this is what you can't practice for. This is what you can't legislate for. I think it's something that's within. It just creeps in right to the last 16. Even your mindset's thinking, is it my night, when they're just creeping? Because he's aiming for the centre of the bed. It just creeps in there. He lifts his arm up. He doesn't give it large, anything like that. Very composed. And he'll fancy his chances in the final despite what happened.
Didn't look to be in any discomfort, did he, with the audience all supporting the other player?
That audience has been mega tonight. That audience has been the best I've seen at the MODUS Super Series. I think they've been brilliant. Very knowledgeable. So not once has the referee had to say, you know, best of order. So when the players have been getting the best of order, and that 180, that Jack Tweddell, it will live in the memory, because it was a moment where, wow, you know, the noise they've created there. I think the players have appreciated that. They've all stayed for the final. They've been brilliant. Let's invite them every week.
Absolutely. A word on Neil Meneer as well. What a great week he's had. We did see in that semi-final as well that he had the opportunity to get it to 3 apiece. Couldn't quite do it. Similar feeling, and then Small goes and gets the job done.
Yeah, he did leave the stage with a smile on his face. I think he knows now that he can play against the best. He's been so good on those doubles as well, but let's give the credit to this young man as well. But Neil Meneer will be back. I think we've seen enough from him. He'll get the belief that maybe he can go a couple of steps further now. I've known him for a long time. It's no surprise to me. A new audience has seen him tonight. Maybe that'll just kickstart him to just get to a few more ADCs, and hopefully we'll see him back at the MODUS Super Series very soon.
Yeah, and Alex Small, I mean, he's kind of kept his head on all throughout this week. He's been really, really consistent. And one thing that I noted, that walk-on, he was gone. He was on the stage. He was nodding his head. I'm going to take this. He really is focused tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, he normally wears like the autism flight. He's really, that's a big part of his motivation. So, you know, he's always wanting to talk. He's always wanting to chat about the game and how relaxed
Yeah, these are live pictures now.
I mean, that is incredible. That's not the way I would prepare for a game, but he's very fluent. You know, once he gets his rhythm going, and let me tell you, I've had some lovely messages and a few photos as well. You know, his local club is going wild. They're all watching him as well. A big prize, £5,000 would mean an awful lot to him. He works hard, but doesn't get to enough tournaments like he'd like to do. So he may not have the support here, but he's certainly got plenty back at home watching.
Speaking of the support here, you've mentioned how good they've been. 50 people here from Swindon Youth Darts. But what a show the players have put on, and what an example of how this sport should be played.
Yeah, a little nervy start, which you want to see. You want to see drama. You want to see players with a little bit of tension, a little bit of anxiety, because all week they've played in this venue with no crowd. And then we saw that 20 minutes to half an hour of the 101 averages from 2 players in Small and Nevada, then the 107 average as well by Alex Small. I mean, so they've had a bit of everything. You know, maybe the only thing missing is a 9-darter. Maybe they're saving that for the final.
Well, before the action got underway this evening, some of those kids from Swindon Youth Darts were given the opportunity to throw 9 darts on stage themselves in a little challenge. Here is what happened.
Game on.
So here we go. This is Owen from the Swindon Youth Academy, aged 15,
49.
taking on a 9-dart challenge here at the Live Lounge.
You can just see it almost takes a little bit of time just to get yourself ready, so this will be a fantastic experience for him.
38.
Well, it's been a great experience for him. And there's a treble. He'll be cherishing that. That is for sure.
103.
He saved his best until his very last.
Can get really warm on that stage, but that's not a bad first dart. That's a Glen Durrant dart, that first one, Henry, for you, sir. Let me tell you, the academies around the country are absolutely bursting. That's a marvellous crowd. Up to 50 of them from the Swindon Academy.
He's definitely a confident lad, isn't he? He's certainly enjoying himself. Cheered himself up.
21.
Didn't quite work out at the end, did it?
11.
See the nerves for young Mitch. See what the experience is getting. You may not realise it right now, but to play in front of a crowd.
Well, it certainly got better as the 9 darts got to an end. So this is Jack, just 10 years of age
59.
from the Swindon Academy.
Yeah, he looks good, doesn't he? The only player here who Henry Deacon, my co-commentator, is taller than.
41.
Well, what a player, 10-year-old. And let me tell you, there's so many young players like this. Just let himself
9.
down a little bit at the end, but that was a
Well done,
fantastic
Jack.
effort. What an experience for young Nate.
36. $44.
The fact that they're going,
26.
good technique and a fantastic effort.
Game on.
Well, it's our first southpaw player. And I tell you what, Glenn, what an action this is.
Yeah, spot on. Look how
61.
straight them first two darts. That is a superb technique. We'll remember the name Brody.
30.
But with a technique like that and a throwing action
26.
like that and an attitude in the future
Well
like
done,
that,
Brody.
he is going to have a great, great future.
Owen is the winner of the 9-dart challenge with a score of 190.
Yeah, congratulations to Owen, the top winning score then. 190 scored in 9 darts. That takes some doing, doesn't it, Glenn? You should be pleased with that.
I was going to say, I'm waiting for a joke that you wouldn't beat that, but it was great to see. Great to see. They thoroughly enjoyed it. And how competitive were they?
Yeah, really good. And it just shows, doesn't it, that the way that darts is going, the young audience is there. They've wanted to come for a night out watching arrows here. It's not the Ali Pali, but they've come and enjoyed it.
Yeah, and let me tell you, part of my role these days is a bit of an ambassador to go around a lot of the venues now and a lot of the academies, and they're bursting at the seams. You know, the sport's in a fantastic place right now. I mean, just looking at Brody at the end, he may not have won it, but his throw tells me that he's got a very, very bright future there. But the big smile on the face for Owen to take that'll live in the memory. You know, so it's great. Youth darts is fantastic. I think the academies do great by not putting too much pressure on the young player. It's about education. It's about respect. And you know, if they find a little golden nugget like a Luke Littler, then that's the bonus there. But fantastic to see.
Yeah, and the people behind the scenes, of course, who make it all happen, give the opportunities to the kids to play, are really, really vital for the growth of the sport as well. And one of them is downstairs talking to Henry. He's alongside, from Swindon Youth Darts, Caden Baker.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris. Caden's alongside me now. First of all, how much has Swindon Youth Darts enjoyed their evening down here at the MODUS Super Series?
So we've had a cracking time so far, to be fair. Jack had his 101 average was ridiculous. I mean, we've got a couple of lads that have enjoyed it massively. Some of them have it's for darts, isn't it? Everyone loves the darts, really. And that's all you can say, really.
Tell us a little bit about the academy and your role within the academy.
So the academy we started in around start of 2023. It was a couple of months after I started playing darts. A couple of lads have just come in and been absolutely brilliant. I mean, we blew up after the Luke Littler effect. It was just what Luke Littler has done, really. He's fantastic player. He's made the Swindon Darts Academy, or Swindon Youth Darts. He's made it what it is. I mean, we've just exploded and we've loved it all the way. My role has been, up until I turned 18, I was a player. And when I turned 18, I've kind of just been like, admittedly, a little guinea pig for my mum, but it's made everything easier for us Swindon Youth lads. It's the best way we can be.
Your mum was very much the brainchild behind this idea, wasn't she? And she's very much the head of operations, isn't she?
Definitely. I mean, I'm just here to chalk and be everyone's best friend, really. They all love it. They all have a good time. That's all we want. If you enjoy the darts, then that's all it can be. It's a brilliant sport, brilliant time to be around.
Tell us what, in terms of facilities, in terms of what a player, if you're a parent with a young player that's got potential and around that area, they sign up to the academy, what can they expect?
So, in the Swindon Youth, simply all you can expect is to play players who can play darts. There's no one there who can't play the darts. Everyone there is just solid. You can't expect anyone to be the Luke Littler. But we've got a couple of lads who are going to who show a lot of promise, and we're forever proud of everyone in that situation, and everyone enjoys everyone. There's no one there who has any sort of disliking to anyone. Everyone is just good mates.
And it's about nurturing all abilities, whether it's somebody that's got that real potential, or somebody that just wants to have a little bit of fun playing the sport, having this environment that everybody could just be able to play darts in. Is that where kind of like your little tutelage, your mentor role kind of comes into play?
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, we've got a couple of players who, if they fancy it, then we've got a couple of players who, in my humble opinion, of course, a little bit of bias, but they can all be world champions. But we've got a couple of players who, of course, would prefer to just mop up local leagues, mop up local competitions, earn a couple of quid and be happy with that. I mean, as simple as, if you enjoy the darts and you want to win a couple of quid, then you do it.
I don't know if you heard, but you had a massive cheer when you came up on the big screens in front of the Swindon Darts Academy. You're seemingly quite popular where you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part of it is my mother running it, but I think a lot of the parents, I think I try my hardest to be the best kid I can. They all, I mean, I'm not the greatest player, of course. I'm not Luke Littler. I'm not a world champion at 17. I was 18 before he even turned world champion. But I think the thing all you can do with these lads is help them become the best they can and make them the best player they can, because if they enjoy it, as I've said previously, I think darts is such a big thing where if you fancy it, you can beat anything.
Well, Caden, thank you for talking to us. Thanks for the work that you and your mum do as well in terms of the Swindon Darts Academy. You've got a lot of cheers. Glenn Drummond could only dream of a crowd cheering like this during his career.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And certainly they deserve that applause as well, not just Caden, but of course his mum Claire, who is the founder and organiser, does it all for free as well. These people really are needed in youth darts for the growth of the game. And if you've got an academy and want to have a similar experience, come down to the MODUS Super Series, do drop us an email at superseries@modusports.com. Yeah, they deserve it. He's walked back into the arena, I think, there, Glenn. Henry Deacon had a little dig about you never getting a cheer that loud, but these are the people that really do deserve the applause, aren't they?
Oh, it's great. And the whole interview was did with a smile. You could see how proud of the fact that, and it was silent in here. Everybody was watching the TV and how proud they can be. I mean, they're the heroes. Like you mentioned, the way they do it voluntary, but they must get a real kick out of seeing someone get on a stage and win things. You know, whether it's via the JDC, which can often be the next step there, but the future is very, very bright. And the future is because of people like Caden.
It absolutely is. And just want to have one final word. He mentioned it, the Luke Littler effect. It really has got academies up and down the country, packed to the rafters. But that story for Luke, I mean, it didn't start here, but here is a big story for him, isn't it? Just speak about the impact that he's had at the Super Series specifically.
Well, even on his bio, on his social media, still how proud he is of being here at the MODUS Super Series. We get to see a lot of the sort of adverts, and it's still Luke Littler doing what he does there. He was very proud, but it's just young people absolutely love the fact that you know what Luke Littler's doing, and you know the repercussions of that is that young players are wanting to play darts now. Our sport is rock and roll. Our academies are bursting at the seam, and I never get embarrassed about talking about the Luke Littler effect. What he's done and where the game is at now is the best it's ever been.
Yeah, certainly is, and great to have them with us tonight. Didn't get the result they wanted with Jack Tweddell going out, but it must have been a nice experience for him as well.
I think he was taken aback, honestly, but he handled it very, very well, and they've made it an incredibly special night, and it's great to start our Series 10 off. You know, week one, we're looking for our, you know, it's down to 2 players now, but for me, the big winner tonight was the crowd.
Absolutely. Right. That's this week. One more match to come. They're going to be treated to the final this evening between Adam Savada and Alex Small. But next week, well, we've got some very familiar names and a particular debutant, Glenn, Simon Whitlock, making his first appearance here, having lost his tour card for the first time in a long time. Graham Hall, Andy Hamilton, Steve Robertson, the ADC qualifier, Tommy Morris, very good player as well, Andres Nicolau of Cyprus. In Group B, Jamie Hughes, another debutant who of course, has won a European Tour in PDC darts. Martin Adams, 3-time world champion, along with Ashley Coleman, the Prince of Darkness, and then Jensen Walker with the former world youth champion James Hubbard and Adam Mould, who's won a week here before. That is a stellar lineup, isn't it?
From the decorated careers of Whitlock and Andy Hamilton, to the experience and legend of Martin Adams, to the young players coming through like Jensen Walker. It's got a real mix. It's a really tough week. I think every person that looked at that group went, oh dear. Because sometimes you must be hoping just to see a group where you think, maybe I can win that. That's going to be a real tough call. Graham Hall's a name to look out for.
For a player like Simon Whitlock dropping into it, obviously he comes with such a huge reputation and CV behind him. What's the experience going to be like for him?
Well, listen, I was really nervous when I got up there. I mean, I was used to the surroundings at MODUS Super Series, but when I walked on there, he just needs a win under his belt. I think it's a good thing that he's in Group A because he'll get plenty of opportunities. There'll be early nerves there. You know, he's someone who's played on the biggest stages of them all, but it'll be a bit of a reality check, but I think he'll enjoy the experience. Very fit still. Very strong is Simon Whitlock, still a massive practicer, very prolific on the local league scene. So I still think he ticks an awful lot of boxes there to go on and actually win the week.
Could suit him, couldn't it, the format? Because he does play a lot of short format darts away from the PDC.
Yeah, when you get over your age of 50, you do feel the aches and pains a little bit. I wouldn't like to start off in Group A because, come by the Saturday, no puns intended there if I made it or not. But I think with him, like I say, he'll just get better and better. Age is not a barrier for Sam Whitlock. It's exciting for Simon. It's exciting for the MODUS Super Series, all live on Pluto TV.
Yeah, and of course he'll have the benefit of sleeping in his own bed. Even though he is from Australia, Simon does live very close to where we are here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. But let's get back to tonight then. A recap of what's happened this evening. Group 1, we saw Gary Stone bow out despite winning his opening match. Disappointment for the Scotsman, disappointment for Scotland all night because Ross Montgomery was heavily beaten in both games in Group 2, meaning it was Jack Tweddell, Adam Sada, Alex Small and Neil Meneer that made the semi-final. Sada got the better of Tweddell 4-1. Small saw off Meneer 4-2. And the final is set. And it's difficult to call, Glenn, but you're the one that's tasked with doing it.
Well, at 2 a.m. this morning, early hours after Group B finish, it asked me who was going to win it tonight, and I said, Adam Savada. He's in the final. I'm not going to change my mind now, but my heart is really saying Alex Small. What it would do for his game, the way he's played, he'll be walking on air. Like I said, he's got so much support at home, but I'll have to stick with the American right now, but the heart says Small.
Just been told Alex Small has won the Bull. What bearing could that have?
In the best of 7, an awful lot. We've seen some really tight games today, and in the back of your mind, if it does go the distance, you've got the darts as well. I used to like to win the Bull. In a best of 7, it can be crucial.
This week, obviously, you've seen Small in his Group C campaign. One of the things that you seem to point out was that there are moments where maybe he slowed down a little bit. Have we seen a more mature Alex Small this week?
I think we've seen it excellent. And I thought the question was going to be sometimes he's almost wanting to go back to that rhythm where he's just too quick. It's often like, and the best analysis and the best thing to look out for is when he's thrown his first dart, he's already grabbing his second dart. I think that's when he was just a little bit too quick. I think that created the inconsistencies. I think he's working with someone back home. They seem to have sorted that out. He's more measured, he's more consistent. He's in the final.
And what are the credentials that could see Adam Savada win tonight?
Oh, he's got everything. I mean, this is a guy who's played at Madison Square Garden, in the World Series. He's been excellent on the CDC. He won 2 of the last 3 competitions. He came here with a big reputation. He's dealt with it. He goes into this final as the favourite.
Right, the talking's over. The final is about to get started, and we will have it for you live after this short break.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius? Yes. Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Littler!
Only one American player has ever won in this building. And if Sada can find double 16, he has the chance to join Danny Lelby to head through to the final again. He's waited a couple of years for a moment like this. And Alex Small is into his second Super Series final.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the MODUS Live Lounge here in Portsmouth for the MODUS Super Series, Series 10, Week 1, live on Pluto TV. We now get round to our final of the evening, and what a final we're going to expect. Please put your hands together and welcome on stage. It's the wildcard, Alex Small, and his opponent from the United States of America, the Reaper, Adam Sada!
Here we go then, the final about to get underway, and two players that have treated us to some quality stuff, not just tonight, but all week. If you are new to the MODUS Super Series and just tuning in for the Saturday night live action, don't forget, we have live darts 6 days a week across 8 sessions. Week 2 gets underway on Monday morning from 9:30 a.m. Alex Small won the bull in the practice room and is looking to get his first win on the Super Series stage, having come close before, a runner-up in previous times. Adam Sada on debut, looking to take the pot and win £5,000 to take back to the USA with him. And he's had a great week on debut. He's played some fantastic darts. Well, those in the audience have got some fantastic darts as well. Big smiles in the arena, but who will be smiling the widest at the end of this 1st to 4 final? Alex Small has won all his games tonight, including A 4-0 victory against Savada in their group game, although that was only the one defeat in the last 11 matches for Savada. What a start from Small. Well, I better shut up and hand you over to Henry Deacon and Glenn Durrant, because this could be brilliant.
It's a Saturday night game of play your cards right here in the final of the first week of Super Series 10. The wild card against the American Ace to see who the first player through to Champions Week is going to be.
61.
Alex Small's already found a first max. For Adam Savada, he's looking to become just the second American player to qualify for a Champions Week and to win a week. And if he's looking for motives that could be on his side, the only other American to win a week here
60.
did so in the opening week of a series. That was Danny Lauby, and that was in Series 4, where he got the better of Wesley Harms in the final. He managed to shut out the Sparky, but could Adam Savada
100.
keep down the wild card's cool, crisp scoring power?
What a night.
100.
And what a final we have in prospect. They know each other's game very well. They played each other in the group.
140.
Alex Small was absolutely magnificent. He started well here. 6 stars from 100, but the way he's playing, he only needs the 2. What a start.
A 14 darter for Alex Small to kick-start this match. He begins as he means to go on. And that now is 5 legs played against Adam Savada, and Alex Small is 1-5. They met in the group stages early on this evening. Alec won 4-0. He averaged 107.36 in that contest, and he ran as hot as this. 15-15, 13-13 with the legs in that contest. He was too much for Savada then, and the man from the desert could be swept aside very quickly if he carries on in this vein of form.
140.
I think there'll be plenty of twists and turns still to come in this match. So
96.
much admiration for the way Alex Small has played this week. Adam Savada, maybe a new face to many people at the MODUS Super Series. He's played at Madison Square Garden. He's winning big competitions in the CDC against all the top North American players.
91.
He came with a big CV, a big pedigree. He's delivered. He's back in this match. Small down the 19s.
171.
Everything he touches turns to gold right now.
Savada's being forced to take a 130 out on throw for a 12 darter, and his inability to find it means that Small comes back for a 2-0 lead. He's on for potential 11 darter here on the back of the 14 he got in the first leg.
68. Alec Khan, 94.
How aggressive do you want to be, Alec? He may start on the bull. And what he's given himself is an opportunity to hit the bull, but however, a 19 means a second plan, it's the bullseye. We've seen an incredible dart this week from Savada to hit a bullseye.
69.
What an effort.
Alec Khan, 62.
He scared that. And Savada survives a scare. But he's only going to get 1 dart to square this final up. 1 at double 16. It's all he needs. 1-1. What a final we thought we had in prospect. And what a final we're getting up to press.
Game on.
Darts is about timing. Small has been brilliant so far in this game, but the 1 dart or a double for Savada, double 16. It felt like it had to go because Alex Small had started absolutely superb in this match. The most important stat is the legs.
100.
And it's level pegging.
Can I make an executive order here and forego the best of 7 format and maybe extend
60.
it a bit more?
I think what makes this MODUS Super Series so good is the best of 7 format. It's exciting. Sometimes it can be over as quick as it starts. You've got the super quick Alex Small, the super composed Adam Savada.
57.
I think they will feed off each other. It could go the distance. That bullseye to start Could be crucial. So many questions that need answering. Sit back and enjoy.
121.
Well, the crowd are certainly enjoying it. A lot of them from the Swindon Darts Academy, which you heard in the VT prior to this final getting underway. They've enjoyed their night, and they'll enjoy seeing darts like that. The second max of the final, split one apiece.
140.
Beautiful last dart.
64.
I thought that second dart had covered that treble 20 bed. We're seeing some special stuff tonight. 80's not a gimme. So Adam Savada, he knows that 140 could be crucial yet.
80.
It might be just the one dart at tops.
It is one dart at double top for a 2-1 lead. What a dart when you consider the pressure that he was under. You could see the outtake of breath there, the puff of the cheeks. He knew how big that was, and Savada, more importantly, knew how big that was.
I heard the screaming and the shouting from the National Club in Wattsville. They're all there cheering their homeboy, and boy is he delivering.
60.
What a dart you called, Henry. You were absolutely... He's just finding it. You would
100.
think there was nerves, you would think there was tension, but he's so free-flowing. What a start to Series 10, Henry.
He's free-flowing, but if Savada's not careful, he may be free-falling. He has to stick with his pace, and to his credit, he has done as Savada.
Savada is averaging over 100 at the moment.
101.
Maybe the spectacular start from Small. Maybe we're not highlighting the fact that Savada is doing some good stuff. It's just on throw. But if Savada's going to win this match, he's going to have to break the throw of Small.
100.
And Alex Small has won that right. It's the only game of the week where there is a bull-off in the practice room. He's earned the opportunity. And he is beginning to create an opportunity against the throw. He's first to a finish after 9. Savada needs to hit big here.
Engrossing, enthralling.
60.
A young man by the name of Alex Small producing the darts we all hoped would do. That's awkward.
56.
He uses that route. What it means, though, it's not guaranteed to be a 2-dart at the 64 if he comes back. The possible sensible play was maybe to go a big 20.
Well, Savada's not going to play his wild card, which means Alex Small's got his opportunity to get the breaker throw. He doesn't need
83.
one in this game, but the position it would put him in, if he can find it here, is huge. He's got 2 at tops. He's not missing that target. He's not missing anything. 3 from 4 on the doubles, another 14 darter. He's averaging just under 108 and now has the darts in his hand to win his first weekly title.
81.
It's fair to say this could well be the biggest moment. I know he's won the Champion of Champions, but when you consider how hard he's worked to put himself in that position where he can lift something in this building, it could well be the biggest moment of Alex Small's career so far.
85.
There's got to be a moment that he's going to feel it, but now he's got that cushion of 2 legs. And the fact he's got, if it does go the full further 3 legs, he's going to have the throw into them. So it's incredible moment for Alex Small.
85.
So now he's got to remain patient. Now he's got to remain composed. He's got to remain lethal on that treble 20. And all of a sudden, this is normal. This is bound to happen.
63.
But champions do that. They stand back. They look at the treble 19. They ping it. They get themselves back in this leg. He's a ton ahead.
But Adam Savada is a bona fide winner in his own right. He's won 2 CDC titles in 2024. And so you knew he wouldn't give up this final without a fight. And what he can also do here is to get the break back that he lost in the previous
45.
leg. At least return the game to throw, and he'd have the opportunity, if he wins this leg, to take us all the way to a decider.
45.
Mistake. And the way Alex Small is played, if he can get a couple of trebles, All of a sudden, the
40.
occasional wild dart's got to come in.
141.
It happens. It's normal. Go back, refresh, restart. Sada looking good, looking solid. But
41.
But another slip.
I don't know whether you saw that, Glenn, but Alec has got a few friends in the front row that were just telling him, right, think about it, keep it together.
57. Adam McCarr, 100.
That's what he doesn't want to hear. He knows that. He might be a young man, but he's experienced enough to work out his own problems. Sada, does he go tops? Does he use that dart? He uses that dart. Can he guide it into double 10?
80.
What a moment for Alex Small.
2 years ago, he lost in heartbreaking circumstances against Adam Warner.
105.
And he's had a dart to win this final
20.
at the bullseye, which has come and gone. Sada has had a dart against him to lose it.
That was an incredible crowd that night as well. All of a sudden, Savada's looking a little bit nervy. Takes a moment.
Adam Sada.
All dart players, just see the fact the double 10 didn't go as planned. Just give himself a moment. And guide it into that double 5. This is not done and dusted just yet. It's still very much Alex Small. He's deep in thought. Sada, you can hear him just motivating himself. Just little mumblings.
123.
And this is how the jeopardy of a best-of-7 leg match can swing. Sada brings the match back to throw, back to 3-2. He poses the question of Alex Small, but you can't split him after the first visit of the 6th leg.
Oh, this is good. Listen to the hush.
140.
Can you listen to a hush?
You can hear a pin drop in here.
140.
They are cancelling each other out, turn by turn in this leg.
He's just putting the pressure on Sada, but he's got the answers. He has the answers all week. He was magnificent
100.
in Group B. He was tremendous in Group B. But Alex Small has been a man on a mission this week. Those darts are just creeping in, going into 1 and 5s. It's a big exhale. He knows he has the dart. You remember when we said those darts at the bullseye to determine who throws first? The question was asked, is it important? Right now, it's huge.
But Alex Small's already had a dart at the bullseye
84.
to win this final. In fact, the only 2 darts he's missed in this final at a double has been at the smallest target at the board. But he may be forced here, Alex
59.
Small, to go all the way to the last leg, because Sada here looking at 54 to take it to 3-3. To take us all the way in the first final of the series.
Game show on the 6th
We
leg.
go
Adam
to
Sada.
leg 7.
7 and final leg. Alex is through first. Game on.
Alex Small has lacked a little bit of consistency the past 2 legs. But at the back of his
100.
mind, he knew he had the darts. 1 treble. He'll take that. He's saying to Sada, go on, you need trebles now.
76. $60.
That's the adrenaline. When it's going above the treble 20 by so much, it's almost like your arm. The power that he's generating.
43.
It's just a little bit too much, but he's not being hit back. He's 40 ahead plus these. And he's in the treble 20 bed. Alex Small, this is your moment.
140.
He's the one who's made the move in the last leg. Now it's all down to Adam Sada to see whether he can keep pace. Needs to find a couple just to keep himself interested.
60.
Doesn't find anything. Alex Small is 6 darts away again.
Oh, what a dart. Could use the bull with the last. Does use the bull last. So despite he's in a high-pressured situation, he still has the confidence. He still has the knowledge. He still has the awareness to know where he is. He's 96 points away from a famous victory.
He's had a
54.
dart already at the bullseye to win this
96.
final. He's going to get more opportunities right here, right now. It's not going to be with this visit.
56.
but he set himself up for tops upon his return.
Small doesn't give it large. He's just looking around. You dream of moments like this. Sada, the realization's just kicked in. Alex Small has been incredible this week.
56.
Over to you, Alex Small.
40.
Tops for the title. Double 10. The wild card is the ace in the pack.
Series 10, week 1. It's the wild card, Alex Small.
2 years ago, Alex Small broke his heart on that stage when he lost the final to Adam Warner. 2 years on, he has come full circle to become a weekly winner for the very first time. You can see what it means to him. You can see a mix of emotions, relief, pride, joy, all etched on his face. As for Adam Sada, he has been a joy this week. A 4-3 defeat in the final. He's had averages in excess of 110. He's had 3 days where he has completed the card, but he's not going to complete his quest for a Super Series title on his debut week here at the Live Lounge. For Alex Small, he's the big winner in week 1, and he is a tale of perseverance. He had such a great start to his Super Series career. He lost the final early on. He lost that cutting edge a little bit. He failed to qualify for a few finals nights. But just listen to what that crowd are saying about Alex Small. They love him, and he loves them. And he is the first name into Champions Week in Series 10. He's got the medal around his neck, and now he has the chance to lift the trophy. And to do that, let's hand over to our Master of Ceremonies, Paul Hinks.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a fantastic week down here at the MODUS Live Lounge on the MODUS Super Series, Series 10 Week 1. We've had 12 fantastic players. We've had 6 great players on this stage tonight. We've had a fantastic crowd here tonight. Unfortunately, there can only be one winner, and that is the wildcard from Wales, Alex Small!
Alex Small enjoying his moment, and why wouldn't he be? He's been able to do it in front of a fantastic audience, and they're all getting involved now. Oh, what a moment this is for him, Glenn.
He's very emotional right now. He's looking up to the heavens. This is a player that we've got excited about when he won the Champion of Champions. He has a pedigree as a youth player, represented his country. But tonight, for me, has been his best night, his best week of his darting career. I'm absolutely delighted for him. Just look at what it means to him. He passed his flights to the crowd. They've been support. They've been singing his name. What a moment. He'll remember that for the rest of his life.
Yeah, it means so much to Alex Small, doesn't it? As Henry was alluding to in commentary, came close before, missed out in front of another packed audience against Adam Warner a couple of years ago when he brought all his uni mates down, all the uni darts team who stormed the stage afterwards. Tonight there was another audience for another player, but they've taken Alex Small to their hearts in the end.
Yeah, and why not? He's a good guy, like I said. £5,000 as well, that realisation there. He's shaking his head. I can't believe it, because I don't know what his form was like. Chatting with him during the week, he said he's not been able to do as many tournaments he'd like to do. He works hard, he works full time. I did notice whenever he went to an ADC competition, he was winning it. The amount of messages I was getting from his friends. They're in a club in Wattsville, and you know, it was packed out in there. They've had their ADC finals there. They've stayed and supported him. He'll have an unbelievable night. He'll look at all the messages, and he'll remember this moment.
Yeah, we won't be hearing from Alex Small. He doesn't do interviews due to his autism, and that's something that is close to his heart as well. He often wears a shirt and flights on his darts in support of autism charities as well. So really good for that community as well to have somebody up there on that stage achieving what he's achieved.
Yeah, that's a story in himself. I met him this morning at the hotel, and it clearly didn't want to do an awful lot of talking. When you chat with Alec, which I've done it a lot, it's by messenger. You know, he's always asking questions. Glenn, how should I repair? This morning at 7 or whatever, he said, Glenn, any recommendations for tonight? And I wrote, no, just do what you're doing. And I think that's what he did. I was waiting throughout the week for him to maybe just drop off at one point, but he didn't. He was electrifying. He was dynamic. He scored so big. His doubles were excellent during the week. And what a picture that is there. Like I say, I feel quite emotional for him as well. He's a genuinely good guy. And you never know when success is going to happen, Chris. And it's probably the least he expected at the time there. He's enjoying it. And it's only right that all the players from Swindon Darts Academy getting up there and enjoying the moment with him.
Yeah, and he's their hero tonight, isn't he? He must be revelling in that moment. In terms of a dart player, we've seen some fantastic stuff from him this week. Really good performances in the group, really good performances tonight, getting the job done. Where could he go from here?
That's a tough question. He needs to enjoy this moment. What he needs to do now is sustain that. I think belief and confidence is incredible in darts, and maybe this is just giving him that belief that he can do it, because he didn't wilt. I mean, he averaged so big in his, in the round robin. He was excellent in the semi-final, great in there, and maybe this was just that moment. You know, we all have that moment in our darting lives where you start thinking. And now he's got 12 beautiful weeks of thinking, I can't wait for Champions Week. So he'll want to get on the practice board. He'll want to get ADCs done. It's probably coming at a really good time for him. The way he played tonight, I guess he wished Champions Week was next week. So hopefully he kicks on from there. This is a guy who we've been waiting for him to kick on. Maybe now's the moment.
Yeah, £5,000, that lovely trophy as well. Medal round his neck. He really is revelling in it. Just let's remind you what's happened then over the course of the evening. Gary Stone, well, he was one of the favourites along with Adam Savada, won the first match, but then lost to Jack Tweddell 4-2, losing out in a close Group 1, and you'd expect that Stone will be kicking himself somewhere right now. Ross Montgomery, well, he didn't really have a chance. The week hasn't been his, hasn't really played well this week, and he went out from Group 2. Savada going through with Small. They then play each other again in the final. A lot closer, Glenn, than the group game. But did that group game have a bearing?
I don't think so, and I didn't think either of them, took the foot off the accelerator in that group game. I saw two players wanting to win. I think we've seen examples where maybe people have been trying to get their energy and save energy and not maybe produce the best there. I don't think it had a real bearing. If you'd have said to them on Monday morning, you're going to be playing the final, you get yourself ready for that one game. Interesting, you asked the question, how important will that bullseye be? And I said to you, in a best of 7, you just never know. And when it got to at 3-1, he saw that winning line. And then he had 2 ropey legs. But at the back of his mind, he knew he had the dart. He started off with a clear ton. And Savada, for the first time, didn't bounce back from there. And like I said, he's signing autographs. And he's just, it's brilliant. You feel like you wish you could bottle that moment, because let me tell you, the adrenaline, the happiness. And he'll go on his phone later. He'll see all his messages. He's living the dream.
Yeah, that was a small signature, that wasn't it, Glenn?
Ba-boom.
Did you get that?
I did.
Yeah, but he's won big tonight, hasn't he, at the MODUS Super Series? £5,000 in his pocket as well. And let's talk about some of the other players. You said about you wouldn't want to give a player advice before a big night, no. But what has each player learned about themselves this evening? Let's start with Gary Stone, because it was kind of brutal for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I maybe shouldn't say this, but I'm already looking on his social media and he's pretty heartbroken. Yeah, he's pretty crushed right now. I think he thought the job was done. You could see him wilt. You could literally see that Tweddell was flying, and all of a sudden the realisation that I might not even get to the 9-dart shootout, because I thought that was the way the ending was going to come at that point. He is someone who wears his heart in his sleeve. We're waiting for that moment. You just don't know when it's going to come. He could do an Alex Small next time he comes in. It could be out of the blue when you're not practicing well. That's a tough loss for him.
What about Tweddell? You mentioned him. What can he take away from tonight?
I loved him. He had a great story, a story I didn't know. I couldn't fill in the boxes of why he hasn't been playing darts from 2016 to 2023. And like I say, he had some real serious health issues. He's back playing the game, the Luke Littler effect and all that, put a dartboard back up. And I think he has all the attributes to do really well here. It was no surprise to see him play well. I think what will live in the memory for Jack was that 180, that support. honestly thought the roof was going to come off at that point. So he just didn't get over the line, young enough to bounce back.
And Neil Meneer, an experienced player, played in that county system for years. He had a little bit of limelight tonight, which was very welcome, wasn't it?
He's one of those guys that if he travelled, it'd be no surprise to anyone because he'd have done well on the circuit, whatever circuit he wanted to do. I think he's enjoyed the experience so much to see him fist pumping, to see the big smile from him, that he'll want more of it. And I'm sure we'll see him back at the MODUS Super Series very soon.
Right, after the break, we will discuss a little bit more about Alex Small, Adam Savada, that fantastic final. Of course, Small, the first player through to Champions Week, having won Week 1, and we will preview Week 2 as well. Stay with us.
Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th MODUS Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new MODUS Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th MODUS Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison!
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 MODUS Super Series champion, Scott Taylor!
One more time, your new MODUS Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your MODUS Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Lidlow!
Unfortunately, there can only be one winner, and that is the wildcard from Wales, Alec Small!
Big night for Alex Small, lifting that trophy, the wild card, getting his hands on the winner's prize for the first time here at the MODUS Super Series, and doing it by winning all of his matches tonight. The group games, both of them 4-0, and then a 4-2 success against Neil Meneer in the semis, and a 4-3 win against Adam Savada in a thrilling final. We were talking about what it means for and to Alex Small, Glenn, before the break there, and you could just see the emotion etched all over his face.
He'll be watching the games back tonight. He's one of them ones where he's scrutinised, he looks, he's always asking questions, but nothing will ever take that moment away. He's had that champion of champions moment, but to do it, live on Pluto TV in front of that brilliant crowd, to beat an awesome player in Sada, that moment there, he'll relive it many times. He can't wait to shake the hands there. His head is down. He just wants to give it large right now, but he's respectful. He's looking up to the heavens there. It's just a wonderful moment for him, and that smile won't be taken off his face for a long, long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Rightly revelling in this special moment, one of the biggest of his career, and who knows where it could lead. Of course, he has to return now for Champions Week at the end of this series, and a chance to add his name to an incredible roll of honour, which includes, of course, the name Luke Littler twice, Conan Whitehead winning the first series, Raymond Smith of Australia before Littler then did the double. He then handed the trophy to a player 40 years his senior in Jim McEwen. Scott Taylor was actually part of this week, didn't even make it through to finals night, and we've since seen, the Europeans win the event. Andreas Harrison of Sweden, Marvin van Velzen of the Netherlands, and Darius Labanauskas of Lithuania. Will it be going to Wales for the first time, and can Alex Small be the player that makes it go there? What an honour that would be.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Yeah, no Welshman there, and the way he played this week, I mean, his averages have been really good as well, so there's even a potential come Champions Week he's going to be in that Group A. So all them factors are taken into consideration as well, but thoroughly enjoyed it, didn't expect it, but absolutely delighted for him.
I did want to quickly ask you about Adam Savada as well, because he's had a fabulous week. He had 3 days where he was unbeaten. And look, he almost got there, didn't he? Just one leg away.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed. He was the favourite, one of the favourites before a dart was thrown, but I think he's thrown, he's shown the MODUS Super Series fans an awful lot what he's about. He's a name I'll be following now. He's on a circuit which is interesting me in the CDC. He's a winner on there, prolific winner. You see, he's just an all-round good person, good character. Just another story here. The MODUS Super Series just fell short.
Yeah, we've spoken about the boom in youth darts. What about the boom in North American darts?
I mean, the game's global. I mean, the fact that our guys are going up the Madison Square Garden, they have their North American Championships there, where he reached the semi-final last year. So it's an area where if we're going to get a real fantastic American player, Canadian player, it would be brilliant. Who's to say it won't be Sada?
Well, the week 2 headliner is Australian. Simon Whitlock is going to be making his debut at the Live Lounge next week. He's in Group A. He's got a full week to play, unless, of course, he wins it and gets a couple of days off. But he does live around the corner. He'll be sleeping in his own bed. Fantastic cast list there, Glenn. Other than Whitlock, who else really jumps off the page for you?
I think Graham Hall will go as favourite. Graham Hall is another massive scorer, understated, won't get the headlines.
Also just dropped off the Pro Tour.
Just dropped off the Pro Tour as well. Watch out for him. Andy Hamilton, despite the fact he's a senior these days, he's a type of player that will get better as the week goes along. Tommy Morris, we all love watching him play, rapid fire. Our northeast from Longshanks, Steve Robertson, he's super excited. And then you look at Group B, obviously the love affair I have for Martin Adams. I mean, one of my best pals in Jamie Hughes, again off the top. It's a cracking week, but also look out for Jensen Walker as well, a young player, bags of talent. That would be another story.
Yeah, happy birthday to a few of Jamie's pals, by the way. Adam Mould, he's won here before as well. Played some good stuff at the ADC Global Championship. Just everywhere you look, there are contenders, aren't there?
Yeah, and a great nickname as well, Mouldy. So we've seen some great nicknames this week as well. Yeah, it's a terrific week. It's, as I mentioned there, it's one of those weeks that where the players looked at it and went, because, there's so many potential winners. Whitlock will be the headline act. I think Graham Hall is a name to look out for.
But if you look at what happened this week, probably wasn't the player that everyone thought would win it. He came from Group C as well. That's quite rare for a player to start in Group C and go and win it. So the players have all got to be looking at that and thinking, look, if I play my game, any of us have got a chance.
Yeah, it's that best of 7 as well, if you get that momentum and get up and running and winning games. But Alex Small, once he started finding that treble 20 as well, and that staggering statistic of over 45% on his doubles through there, the confidence as he came in tonight, he felt he could win it. Well, like talk is cheap, he delivered, and the raw emotion at the end of it will certainly live in the memory. And like I say, he's going to have a fantastic 3 months. He'll want to practice. It's been a great night for Alec.
Is 2025 already becoming the year of the underdog here at the Super Series? We had Kirsty Vinnikainen winning the Women's Week, Richie Howson winning the Legends League, and now Alex Small taking the trophy tonight.
Great shout. And like I say, it wouldn't be too bad, but I just still think one of the big headliners will do really well very soon. Could it be Simon Whitlock? He's got the game. Like I said, we've talked about the fact that he can practice all day and he can practice forever. This format might just suit Simon Whitlock. He'll be a character in the players' area. He'll be good for us. He'll be great for Pluto TV. And I think he'll do the damage on the dartboard as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's a great player. Glenn, you've been a great pundit and co-commentator as always. Thank you for your company this week. But the action, well, it gets back underway on Monday morning with week 2 with Simon Whitlock from 9:30 a.m. The first of 8 live shows we'll be bringing you over the course of next week. And don't forget, of course, the finals will take place same time, same place, Pluto TV, where it's non-stop darts, 7:30 p.m. UK time next week. Coming up tonight, straight after this show, a bit of fun actually, pranking darts players. Owen Binks becomes, well, Ant Andek, I suppose, the referee, and a few darts players had a few little tricks played on that. It's always a good watch. And after that, the story of Luke Littler. If you don't know it already, then that is certainly worth a watch. Check out our series of On the Hockey as well, actually featuring the Whitlocks, with Simon the Wizard Whitlock making his debut at the Live Lounge next week. He's at home with his son Mason, who's played here before and hit a 9-dart on the stage. But as for tonight, well, it belonged to a Welsh wild card as Alex Small won big here at the Live Lounge. But don't fear, it all gets back underway with a wizard in action from Monday morning as week 2 begins. See you then.
Goodbye. Second one of the week. And thank you very much for coming.
He's at it again.
Game shot on a sick leg.
And this time it's worked for Ashley Coleman.
So for match 1-2-4 here required for Jensen Walker.
It's going to be a dart at the ball for the match, a dart at the ball for the win, and it's a superb way to finish off for Jensen Walker.
The right place to put the second one would be North America. Hold on to your hats, everyone. Hold on. Big moment. Oh
Game shot on
no!
a fifth flag.
Johnston's just been hit with a bat.
He might. He will.
Game shot
It's a
on
hammer
fifth
blow
flag.
from Andy Hamilton.
What a finish. What a man.
The drum roll finishes and the target is